button. You can't talk when the button's been pressed. You have to work the button.
You can't talk across
Once the
stuff
button's
until
been
10
pressed, so they all join in.
how it works.
Right, hang on. Put my chair up. Put my chair up so we know what time it is. Chair's at the top.
You do need a little sign behind you so we can measure the time.
Yeah, like in prison, you get the measurements behind it. Hold the card up.
Like one of them candle pots, but backwards.
Have you seen this man?
When you see the bottom of that sign, you know it's about time
Time to go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome again. Welcome to Monday night. It's the eModels live stream with me, Ted. That man down there, Chris. Chris, are you there?
Evening all.
Somewhere. And the other one, Fox.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening to you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your welcome. I forgot what we already just started and I've run out of words.
3 litres of gin, start, nurse.
Good evening. Hope you're all good this evening. Join in. The usual Monday night mayhem, fun, frolics, dancing girls.
No
frolics.
No, sorry, there's no dancing girls. They haven't turned up. Got stuck in the snow.
I don't know if I can stretch to frolics. That's a bit energetic.
Frolics.
Shenanigans I can do, but frolics.
They keep you warm.
I'm warm enough in this jacket. Thank you very much.
Well, all the fun and mayhem, and don't forget, it's your live stream. It's up to you to keep us going, keep us talking, give us something to talk about.
Yeah, because we have no content planned.
Yeah, because we don't plan anything. That's why this eModels live stream usually runs into the mayhem and disorganisation and pressing of the wrong buttons. So it usually does, because we don't know what we're doing, even after all this time. Right, so as I said, it's all down to you guys. You ask the questions. I've got some questions here on the phone tonight, which is plugged in. It is receiving a signal, and it's just shut itself down.
Yeah, now you've said that. Don't tempt the rock.
Yeah, but never mind. Usual rules apply. Please, it is a family-friendly show. Please, we're all adults here. Let's act like adults as well, in case any young people are watching or people that are easily offended. But good evening to you all.
As always, don't forget, if you want to ask a question, you can do in the chat. Just make sure you type it out in big fat capital letters so we can see it. If you're watching on the eModels page on the website, emodels.co.uk/live, you won't be able to access the chat. So if you'd like to, all you need to do is click the little YouTube icon in the bottom right of the player, and that will pop you over to the YouTube channel where you can actually join in the live chat. And we do give stuff away to people in the live chat, so it's worth watching with the live chat. If you're on a tablet or a smartphone, you might not be able to. But if you're on the webs, do click on the YouTube icon. And don't forget, of course, as always, there is the little super chat icon at the bottom of the chat window, the little dollar sign. If you wish to, you're more than welcome to give that a go. That will pop your comment up in a big pink or blue or gold box, which looks awesome. It's very pretty, very pretty. Pink's very nice. I'm a princess. What can I say? And it means we can't possibly miss your question. And as always, God, I can't get my words out now, Ted. You've infected me.
You want some gin? I'll pass it.
You know, in a bad way if you put me in charge.
Yeah. Well, as always, Chris is your comment dolly for the evening, so he'll be looking after the chat and keeping us up to date, because we miss a lot of what goes on in chat. So we kind of decided having one person looking at the chat constantly is probably a good idea. But apologies if we miss your questions. We do tend to miss a lot.
Yeah, but even then, the chat does go so quickly. So if we do miss you, we're not missing you on purpose. It just goes so quickly. Or we're talking about something else, and by the time we get around to your question, it's gone out of context. So we'll try.
It's just that me and
really apart from you with that comment, because that one was ignored deliberately. So if that was you,
but yeah, don't forget that me and Ted are really old, so we miss a lot of things. Anything that moves faster than 2 miles an hour, it's just gone. Plus, this is newfangled technology for us anyway. So.
Well, Terry at Smooth's Workshop has got a question up already. He says, Ted, what's your favourite sandwich?
I like a good ham and mustard sandwich with some strong English mustard. I quite like that. On fresh crusty loaf. Not your usual Mother's Pride sliced bread. So.
Bit of tiger loaf, maybe.
Yeah, a bit of tiger bread. That's all right. That used to be when
Tesco's tiger loaf's great. I love it.
Yeah. When I used to drive for Tesco, when I did the deliveries on Tesco, you could always tell when a tiger loaf was on your van because you could smell it. You could smell it in the cab from the.
I thought you were going to say you could hear it roaring or something.
Yeah, I think you just smell it. But you can't spell tiger.
Lift the shutters up. Rawr, you know, pull it.
My favourite sandwich would have to be a Subway foot-long meatball and cheese.
He didn't ask you. He only asked Ted.
I know, but I'm answering anyway. It's because I wanted to put that thought in people's heads. Now they're all sitting there going, "Oh, what a meatball and cheese
Oh,
sandwich!"
no, is that technically a sandwich?
Yeah, it's bread with stuff in the middle.
I
There you go,
suppose.
done.
Yeah, technically. I like cheese and pickle. Nice and easy. Just done. Sorted.
Yeah.
Oh well, right.
The working man's lunch.
Yeah, the thing is with the cheese and pickle sandwich, if you're at work, you can always chuck it in the toaster, can't you?
Mm.
Yeah, so toasted sandwich.
Michael Jackman asks, who decides what the week's titles should be? I think they're naturally occurring, aren't they? They just appear on the website.
Yeah, you just press a button on YouTube and it decides a title for you.
Make stuff up button.
Yeah, it's just a make stuff up button. Yeah, it's whoever starts the chat. Usually, it's me that starts the chat. I just think of something topical or whatever. Yeah, hope you like this week. Do you know what the title came from? Anybody spot the title? Know what program it came from?
I didn't pay attention to what it was this week. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, yeah, go and have a look. Go and have a look, that man.
Steve ? I don't know if that's his surname or the start of a question. Says Fox, Tau or Imperial? Imperial for the win. Because Tau's kind of boring. I like Imperial because they've got more interesting things to paint.
Terry says, "Good shout, Ted, be your sandwich."
Yeah, my army is going to be Imperial anyway because my army is going to be the unending forces of the Holy Contrivance. That's the name of my army that I've just started building. I only got like 10 dudes so far. I've got only about 300 to make. Imperial all the way.
Right. Jamie Bourne says ham and jam sandwich.
Ham and jam.
Ham and jam. No, I never tried that one. No.
Adrian David said, "Food and only 5 minutes in."
Yeah. It's better than another product that can't be mentioned yet.
Yep.
Hey?
No, don't worry. Sorry.
No, never mind.
I'm lost.
Yeah, it's a product that can't be mentioned unless somebody specifically asks that question.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't say anything about that. Philip Buck has got an actual model making question. He says he wants to start spray painting. What do you recommend for a start?
Ask that question again, Chris, because we both spoke over you shamelessly there.
I want to start spray painting. What do you recommend for a start?
An airbrush.
An airbrush and a compressor. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for watching.
And some paint.
Yeah, so paint. Right. Yeah, this question does get asked quite often. We don't mind how often questions are asked. We will try and answer them. Because
this one is one of those questions that's, to somebody who knows what they're talking about, it's like, well, obviously you need this, this, and this. But somebody who's never done airbrushing before is like, I don't know what any of this means. So yeah, we don't mind.
Yeah. So first of all, you need a good place to start. A good place to start would be eModels because they've got it all.
Quelle coincidence.
Yeah. They have a vast range of airbrush kits that you can look up on the website. Just go to the search bar and type airbrush. Lots of it will come up. And choose an airbrush. Choose an airbrush that will suit your budget and work from there. Obviously, you need a compressor. Try and get a compressor with a tank because it will store air. It won't pulse. Try not to go too cheap. Don't go don't go down the route of the eBay Chinese knockoffs. You'd just really be disappointed and maybe put you off airbrushing for life. But yeah, have a look round. Have a look. Take some advice. Read up on questions, but don't get too deep and involved in it. Pick one that you like. Pick one that's recommended. Pick a named product and start from there. Really, it's how long's a bit of string, how much you can afford. But if you just want to start easy. Start with a good quality low range brush. Use paints that are pre-thinned, ready for painting straight out of the bottle. That way you're not getting mixed up with mixtures and thicknesses and volumes and things like that. And you're just ready to go and enjoy it. You don't necessarily need a spray booth to start with. I didn't. I just had a cardboard box with the sides cut out. But you need some ventilation. Otherwise, even with acrylics, although not toxic, you'll coat your lungs in plastic, really.
He says his budget is about £300, so he's well covered there, I think.
Oh yeah,
I can get some good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just to add to what Ted said, the minefield that most people get is that they don't know what different types of airbrush are. So if you're just starting out, like Ted says, go for pre-mixed airbrush paints, because that just, you can worry about mixing your own paints later. When you're starting off, we've always said before, the learning curve for airbrush is like that steep, but it's only that long. It's very short, but it's quite steep. So anything you can do to reduce the amount of stress and panic you might have while you're learning, to make it easier to learn, the better. Because physically doing airbrushing is actually very easy, but learning the equipment, how to use it, is the short but steep learning curve. So cheap knockoff airbrushes from eBay, yeah, they won't work right. They won't be very good. You'll think you can't airbrush and give up. The things to look for are, you want to make sure the airbrush, to make your life easier while you're starting out, make sure the airbrush is gravity fed, so it's got paint cup on the top, not on the side, and not a bottle on the bottom. Those two, yep, like Ted's got there. They are valid airbrush types, but the easiest to use and the easiest to clean is the gravity fed with the cup on the top, because gravity pulls the paint down, the air pulls it through the front. You can work with low pressures. You want to make sure it's dual action, which means, if Ted can show you on his,
so dual action.
Do you want to lock it on you, so because I can talk then? And you can...
yeah. Lock it on me. Where am I at? I'm over here. Hang on. There you are. I'm locked on me. Keep going.
So there are two types of airbrush: dual action and single action. Single action is you just pull the stick back and you get the same amount of air and paint coming out regardless. Dual action is the one you want. Dual action means you push the stick down for air, and air comes out, but you don't have any paint, and then pull back on the brush, on the trigger, and then paint starts to come out. So you can have air without paint, or you can control how much paint comes out with the same amount of air. With the single action, it's just air and paint, and they're mixed, and you can't change it. So make sure it's dual action. And there was one other thing I was going to say as well. I can't remember what the third type is.
Shiny.
Yeah, make sure it's shiny. But yeah, go for good names like Iwata. Go for Badger. They're two very good makes. There are like the I nearly said Heckler and Koch then. What? Heckler and Koch.
Yeah, that's different. Don't do that.
Who's yours by, Ted?
So mine's by
Harder and Steenbeck.
Harder and Steenbeck.
Yeah. No, don't buy Heckler and Koch.
Yeah, I'd like a Heckler and Koch airbrush, please.
Harder and Steenbeck are like the prestige end of the market. They're the super expensive ones. You don't need to start off super expensive. If you're just learning, you might do it for a month and realize you don't like airbrushing. So don't spend 150 quid on an airbrush right now. Get yourself something in a more budget range, just so you can get used to it and get comfortable with it. Some of the Badger ones, some of the cheaper Badger ones are actually really, really good starter brushes. The Iwatas, like the Iwata Neo and the Iwata Revolution, is a bit more pricey, but it's a very good starter brush. If you've got any kind of disability with your hands or arthritis or any restriction in your finger usage, look to try and get a trigger airbrush like mine. Most of them are buttons, but you can get ones with triggers. They're a little more expensive, but if you've got any kind of mobility issues in your hands like I have, I can't use a button for more than 5 minutes without pain. But this, I can spray for hours. Yeah. So have a look around. If you're really not sure and really stuck, give the guys at eModels a call. Tell them your budget. They won't try and stiff you. They'll try and work within your budget because they know you'll need a compressor and an airbrush. Tell them that you're just starting out. Give them a call, and they'll go through the options for you. They'll kind of know what you might be looking at to start with. But don't get too hung up on it, like Ted said, because 6 months down the line, if you really like airbrushing and you take to it, you'll start to think about getting a bigger and more expensive airbrush and a better airbrush. You'll naturally work your way up to a prestige, because by the time you've been doing it for a couple of years, you'll probably have a couple of airbrushes at least, because you do tend to get, I've got a 0.35, that Neo I showed you is for small detail painting. I've got a big Iwata Revolution for a 5mm one for covering larger areas. I've got a DeVilbiss dagger somewhere under my desk, which is a bit knackered, but I use that again for real solvent-based paints. So you will end up with a collection. So don't get too hung up. Just make sure, keep it easy. Make sure it's dual action, gravity fed, and have a think about a trigger if you have any hand issues. Don't know why I'm doing that, but any hand issues.
And don't forget when you buy your airbrush and you buy your paint, buy some airbrush cleaner as well, because you'll guarantee that you'll be keen to get started on your airbrushing. Fill your airbrush with paint and then have nothing to clean it with.
And the most important piece of advice I can give you, apart from Ted, are we still locked on you, by the way?
No, we're not.
The most important piece of advice I can give you, because the instructions that come with your airbrush will be pants. They won't tell you anything. If it's a trigger airbrush with a button, don't panic when the button falls out the first time you take it apart. It's meant to do that, and it gets everybody who starts airbrushing, they go, oh, and they have this cold sweat and they think they're broken. It just goes back in again. It will fall out because the needle holds it in place like that, and then when you take the needle out, the trigger comes out. So don't panic, you haven't broken it.
Yeah, and thank you. I must say thank you very much for mentioning this airbrush question, because it brought me to realise on picking mine up, I haven't cleaned it. So
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I was
going to do that for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was just doing some airbrushing just before we came on air, and I've just realised I haven't cleaned it. So
no, Lord Barkley 13, he says he's got one of the cheapy airbrushes from China, had no problem with it. You can get very good little airbrushes that you might find on eBay and stuff for, like, 30 quid, and they're like Chinese, what we call Chinese knockoffs. They're like no-name brands, and they might be absolutely fine. And I've got one lying around somewhere that I use for like real dirty stuff, like really rough primer coats and things like that. You can get decent ones, but if you're just starting out, if you get one that's perhaps not got a very good lineup between the nozzle and the needle, the manufacturing process isn't quite as quality controlled. So you can get alignment issues with the needle and the nozzle. You can get just the seals don't last very long. And if you're just starting out and you say get an airbrush and you don't know, and say the needle and nozzle aren't lined up, you'll think you can't airbrush because you're getting marks and splats and spots and it's not working right. You won't know that. You'll think it's you, and you'll put that airbrush down and you'll never airbrush again. So once you're settled and you know what you're doing, then most of us have little cheapy knockoff brushes just because.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a cheap Chinese knockoff. I just use it for clear coats, just varnish and
just hardcore stuff that you don't really care about the airbrush too much to use it. But when you're starting out, you just want something nice and simple. And it's a 50-50 whether you get a decent knockoff or one that's just terrible, will fall apart in a month, or not spray right. And if it doesn't work correctly, you won't know it's the brush that's the problem, not you. So when you're starting out, don't go cheap, because you might put yourself off. Again, it's the steep but short learning curve. If I'm going to learn how to, I don't know, run the marathon, I don't want people to put 1,000 hurdles along the route to make it more interesting, because I'll just not run a marathon.
We've got TK in the chat. So
TK's a mod behaviour, he'll kick your ass.
FX Models and things has made a good point in that he doesn't think you need an airbrush straight away. He's been doing with rattle cans. But I don't know, say, if the person asking the question has been making models for a long time, or they just got into it, but yeah, I mean, you can do fine without an airbrush at all. You can brush paint, but airbrush does make it.
That's a fair point, really, Chris. Yeah, if anybody is watching this and you are new to modelling, don't be thinking you've got to dash out and buy an airbrush. Develop your build technique first. Develop putting your models together and sorting out problems and fixing holes and seams and things like that, and then concentrate on painting, on airbrushing. Once you've got it mastered, don't think you have to rush out and buy one straight away.
And the other thing to remember as well is, again, while you're just starting out, if you've got like a 300 quid budget, it's always worth as well. Don't forget, you don't have to have a compressor straight away. If you just want to see if you like it, get yourself some air cans. They don't last as long. They're not great. They're not brilliant, because as the air starts to come out of the can, the pressure drops. But they're a bit rubbish. But if you're just starting out and you just want to have a couple of goes and get used to painting a couple of models and testing it out, grab yourself some air cans. If you're not sure on a compressor just yet, because you can use those as well. Just don't pick them up when you've been spraying, because they're really cold. Kenneth said, hi Kenneth in the chat said
90% of people who buy a decent airbrush after using a cheap one wish they'd bought a decent airbrush earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Purely because it would have made learning so much easier.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing. Now chat can be replayed when you're watching the video back, so we don't actually have to read everything. You can just read it yourself later.
Okay.
And on that note, I've cleaned it.
It doesn't take long.
If I was quick as that, it'd be like a 20-minute job, and I'd have all my tissues out, my little brushes, and I'd have my visor on. I have my own shameful confession that I was doing some filming yesterday and realised there was a whole pile of brushes on my desk that I hadn't washed in about a week and a half. I'd cleaned them out and used them, but I hadn't put them through the brush soap. Yeah, they were a bit crispy.
SpiddyQ8 says 90% of statistics are made up.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Adrian David has a question. I have an air leak on my compressor where the pressure gauge is. Is it an easy fix?
I had one of those on mine. I couldn't find where it was. Eventually, it was just cheap to go out and buy another air valve.
I'm guessing you don't do the same thing you do if you've got a puncture in your bike tire. You don't just put the compressor underwater and see where the bubbles appear from.
I did try that. I did try to find the leak with bubbles and things like that. And if it's coming through the threads, was it Spider Key mentioned? Simon did some PTFE tape on the threads. That's stuff that plumbers use on gas fittings and stuff like that. Pick it up at your local hardware store. If it's threads, if it's the valve itself, it seemed to be leaking strangely on mine. I couldn't fix it, so it's not expensive just to go and replace them. Actually,
see, I'm not technical minded, and if anything doesn't work on my compressor, I'll just go buy one. Because I'm like, I'm not going to fiddle with it because it's gas at high pressure and it may explode and kill me. So I'll just throw it away and get a new one. There you go.
It's got electricity in it as well.
Yeah, the electricity might explode.
Yep.
Actually, Philip Buck says he used rattle cans before and do like them, but he thought that maybe the finish would be better with an airbrush. They're certainly more controllable than rattle cans. So, yeah.
Rattle cans I still use rattle cans actually. Quite often I'll do primers and things in rattle cans. The only pain with rattle cans is you've got to do it outside. Airbrush you can do indoors.
Yeah, if you've got a rattle can in your spray booth in your spray booth, it'll just clog it up. Instantly. One rattle can will just cover a filter completely.
I mean, some of my favorite primers are actually rattle can primers. So 95% of the time, unless I specifically have to use an airbrush primer and it's not bad outside, I will just use a rattle can primer because it's 1,000 times faster.
SpiddyQ8 says if it leaks or moves and shouldn't, gaffer tape. If it doesn't move and should, WD-40, universal toolbox. That's about right.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Or a big hammer. Yeah, everything's fixed with a big hammer.
Yep.
Jamie Bones asked a question a couple of times to Fox. He says, "What's your favourite type of model?"
Free models. I do like it when people send me models. Favourite type of model?
You can mention it.
I would assume that they're aiming for a certain word to come out of your mouth now.
Yeah, but no, I would say, I can dodge around it a bit and say push fit models.
All right, yeah.
Like the ones Bandai might make.
Like the Star Wars Bandai ones and the other. Yeah,
or the Space Battleship Yamato. Just purely because over the years, I do like making proper glue models, and I'm not, but sometimes I like a push fit model because, especially from Bandai, because they're so exquisite and they blow the pants quality wise off a lot of proper traditional models. Purely because I don't have to think about the build. I can spend all my time painting. A lot of people poo-poo them and say, "Oh, it's not a real model if you'd have to glue it together." That's nonsense. That's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. A model is a model is a model. If you have to glue it together or snap it together, unless it's like a kiddie one, like some brands make the little, ones for kids that are a bit rubbish. Yeah, but if you're looking at something like a Bandai, then yeah, they're still models. I'm still painting and weathering them, and I think that's where I have the most fun with push fits because I've never really enjoyed the making part. I like the painting part. So I'm a painter rather than a maker. So I quite like me push fit models.
Yeah, these were push fit. What, you remember these?
I didn't realise that until we got them for the Christmas special. They're actually push fit models. The toon tanks. They're brilliant.
Toon tanks.
Oh, Smooth's off. See you, Smooth.
Yep.
Yeah, see you, Smooth.
You've upset Mike Mountain now. He says, "How can I win the sweep now?"
That's why Smooth's gone. He's already lost the sweep, probably.
Where are we up to? Right, yeah. Remember, if anybody's watching this, you can't get in chat. You can send me an email to ted@emodels.co.uk, and hopefully it'll kick up on my phone if my phone is within range of the Wi-Fi, and find your question in there. So yeah.
Adrian David says, "Is Lego a form of model?" I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
I say it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a model is a model. If you have to assemble it and then you can paint it, It's a model.
I suppose, yeah. If a model is a reproduction of a full size or even of a thing, isn't it? It's a
There are
reproduction.
people that get really
when you build things like that out of Lego, then that's quite complicated and time consuming. That's a model.
Yeah, it's a model. It's a miniature version of a real thing, which is where your definition can stop. Doesn't matter what you make it out of. Doesn't matter how complicated it is.
It's made of plastic. You use instructions to build it. Yeah,
it's a model.
Steve says the easiest way to get kids into modelling is snap-fit kits. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Absolutely. This is get kids into making models.
Just that one up there. I can't get it down at the moment. There's stuff all around it. That'd be Getty there, and I think I've got a Volkswagen somewhere. My Skylar, 7-year-old granddaughter, has built snap-fit kits from Airfix and loves them. Yeah,
but you get like a 7 or 8 year old kid and give them a model of a Spitfire. They'll be like, "Well, I'm not making that." But give them a Lego or give them a snap fit kit or something. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, let's do that," and they'll build it, and they'll get an interest. And over the next 10 years, you can build up their skills so that you've got to pay for their university tuition, but they get skilled enough they can start building and selling these things when they're older and paying for your retirement. So there you go, done. It's an investment in the future.
Like flat packs. I think he's talking about getting kids into building them as well. So that might be illegal.
Start them on some models. Then you can bring the odd wardrobe home and
right. Totally Scale Models said, if you had to choose one brand of paint, what would it be? Chris and Fox.
Citadel.
I would go with
brush painting.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Hang on. Should we split it to brush painting and airbrushing?
No, one type. You said one. That's it.
One. Citadel.
Have you tried airbrushing it? How does it work?
They actually go on beautifully, but you have to get the thinning. They're quite thick, so you have to put you have to mix a lot of thinner in there. But as long as you get the mix about right, they actually go on beautifully. They do tip dry quite quickly, so they're a bit finicky. They're not designed for airbrush really, but you can do, and they just give a wonderful finish, beautifully smooth finish.
I like the Vallejo Model Air. Just because it just goes straight in the airbrush and goes through fine, and you can brush paint it. Although it's a little thin for brush paint, so you have to do lots of thin layer coats. But yeah, works fine.
Yeah, I was going to say if I was airbrushing, I like Tamiya because they're hard as nails. Because they don't like most acrylic paints. If you handle the model you've airbrushed, it'll just come off. With Tamiya, it's like, yeah, that's not going to come off.
Yeah, I think I could go with Phil Lewis here, who says don't make me choose. But if I have to. I would go. Well, I'm actually going to cheat and say AK or MiG because probably they're the same thing. Yeah, if you know the politics behind it, it's the same sort of paint. So
Totally Scale Models does say airbrush.
Yeah. Yeah, AK Life Color. I'm going that way now. That's really good. Yeah, I like that. So if I had to choose, and there's only one manufacturer that could be my supplier. Life Color.
So there's 4 different brands for you to buy there. Totally Scale Models.
Phil Easton, T-Carb, Team Vallejo with me. So yeah. MJ likes Life Color.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll have a look at some Life Color in the what's in store later on. So yeah.
Tony Black's got a good point. Depends on what I'm painting.
Yes.
Different things need different. Yeah.
So yeah, I did see a question there about anybody built a Tamiya Churchill. Hang on, I'll be back.
While he's grabbing that, let me answer Andy B67's question very quickly. He's about to start weathering for the first time on a Panzer, but an AK pack that has a filter which I have no idea how to use. It's for Panzer Grey, but looks very blue. Any advice? Yes, you just brush it on.
Just brush it on thinly, very, very thinly.
Yes, you can use a big brush. The idea of a filter is just to tint the paint that's on the model very slowly, not like a wash. You don't want it to collect in the recesses. You just want to literally apply a filter, like you have a stage light with a coloured filter over the front. So you just get it on your brush, don't have it dripping, and just apply it thinly and evenly, and it will add a tint to the paint. So yes, you can often get blues for greys and browns for whites. It just adds a tint to it. It's very, very subtle, and you might not even see it. And you only ever need one coat. You want to put it on so it doesn't run. It's not a wash. You just need to apply it flat, and it's best used on a satin or a matte surface.
Yeah. I've got some thin. I've got some here. I might actually have.
I was going to use one actually, but I can't find my filters. So
yeah, dark blue, blue for dark grey, which is a Panzer Grey. Yeah, what you do, get a nice wide brush. Depends what the area you're using it. I've recently been a convert to filters. Since recently, I've no idea about them at all and how to use them. Depends on the area you're going to use. The bigger the area, you need the wider brush, or you can just use a nice.
It's like a round tip brush.
Yeah, use a nice round tip brush. Now then, a secret to using filter is not to use them over the whole of your model, but use them to change colours in various areas. Have a look at your model. And the Panzer Grey, Panzer, you're probably thinking European theatre. It will have been dark, dank, horrible, and wet. Possibly a bit of sunshine in the summer, paint fading. Looking on the top of your tank, I would filter the top of the tank. Just a few panels. You could probably do alternate panels. It gives a bit of tonal difference to the blandness or the monotone of your model. What we do with them, give the bottle a good shake and keep shaking it. Every couple of times you've dipped in it, put the top back on, give it a good shake, because you want to keep all the pigments in suspension. Then take your brush, dip your brush in, wipe the excess off on the side of the bottle, get yourself a tissue or a piece of paper, and then sort of 1, 2, 3 wipes, take the excess off, and then put it on your model. Just brush it on. As Fox says, you won't notice them to start with. Let it dry, and then if you want, give it another colour, and you will see it change very imperceptibly. You'll see it change very, very finely, and it will give you a colour. Now, you can also use yellow or brown on your filters. You can mix your filters, and it will change the tone of the colour. It won't change the colour, but it'll change the tone. And you'll really, if you get into them and use them right, they'll make a fantastic difference to your model.
Yeah, think of them like Instagram filters. It's like you take a colour photograph, but you add a very slight blue tint to it. It just blues the whole picture very slightly. Maybe not Instagram because they're really kind of obvious, but more Photoshop. But it just adds a very slight tint or filter of that colour to the image. So it's the difference between a daylight light bulb and an incandescent light bulb. It's like one is a warm yellow, one's a bit more bluey. It's very, very subtle. Anyway, Ted, you're in the middle of answering a question that I was supposed to answer that quickly, and you did the whole how-to on it.
Yeah, I don't usually like to plug out my own sort of site. If you go across to Skipper Scale Models, I've done some filtering on there on a desert diorama, an SAS Jeep and things like that, and you can see the difference in the colours it makes. Red works brilliantly on yellow. So yeah, it's a colour that you add to the filters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally Scale Models says he's changed his name from Steve's Shed Scale Models because, as he quite rightly says, I could never say it right. So thank you for that. That's very helpful. That name. If you can all change your names to names that are easily pronounceable, that's lovely.
Yeah, especially for me.
So go on, Ted. We'll change your name to Vallejo and Edward.
It's already Edward, isn't it? Ed? Andy says, "Cheers, Fox." Ted, great advice.
It's all right. Ted, what was your question? I interrupted.
Yeah, somebody said, "Have we built the Churchill tank?"
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got this one. It's not mine. It's my son's, but it's for building. That's why I haven't got a stash. It's not my stash. It's my son's. Yeah, it's for building. Yeah. So yeah, I do have it. It will be built.
You're really going to build it, though, Ted, or is it's just yours?
I'll build it for him.
And then have it on your shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
You can look at it as long as he doesn't touch it.
Yeah, I could get a build video out of it.
Philip Buck says, "Thanks for the help, guys. Good night and thank you." It's not good night yet. We're still here.
Everybody's leaving. People are leaving.
I haven't pressed any buttons.
No.
I know. Tesla got all his
claims. We've answered your question. You might like somebody else's question.
Yeah, you can't go. Yeah, you're quite welcome to stay once you've asked a question. You don't have to leave.
One other thing with filters: do the filter first, then do all your other weathering. Yeah. And if you're using enamels, like enamel filters or grimes or anything like that, you don't have to seal between each coat, but just give each coat 24 hours. Things like streaking grimes and filters, and if you're doing streaking with oil paints or enamels, you're only putting it on really thin, so you can just let it dry for 24 hours and then go on and do the next thing. You don't have to put a varnish between each layer, even though you're going to be using thinners and things like that. They won't reactivate. You'll be fine.
Oh, he said he'll be back, so that's okay. These obviously just got to pop out. But...
Okay. If you're popping out, are you getting food? Can you bring food? Because I'm starving.
Michael Jacobin says, hearing about filters and weathering makes me realise how far things have regressed since you started in the late 60s. Yeah, I feel much the same way. When I started doing models again a couple of years back, it was just, it used to be you'd paint a model, you get it, you get the paint, you slap it on, and then you put it away. But now it is more time weathering and making it look real and better.
Yeah.
Totally scale models, that's other than eBay. Where can you get a 1/12 scale Bandai BB-8? We can't tell you because there's not something that eModels stocks, unfortunately.
The big one's not 1/12 though. There's a 1/2 scale. There's a half scale one that I think he means.
All right, half scale one. That's D'Agostini, isn't it?
No, Bandai do a big one.
Oh, that's a 1/6 scale. Oh no, I know the one you mean. It's like a mega size. Yeah, unfortunately, Star Wars Bandai kits, you can only legally import them into North America through Bluefin.
Yeah.
Europe, there's no actual technical way to get them officially. There are no distributors in Europe that Bandai can send them to. So,
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, you have to hunt around.
Yeah, TK said he's changing his name.
Yeah, I read that. I read that and then passed it on.
Wait, what? So I missed that. What?
Yeah, you can go and read it then. We'll let you read it.
You ignored it. But
I've got to get closer. Spemi fraude schade evergogeding.
Versking prank spremly fraude schaude. It sounds like an ABBA song.
Fraud is either cold or woman or something, isn't it?
The thing is, the Dutch would just pronounce it. So
they start the first bit and then mumble the middle bit and say the end.
when you actually hear someone who speak a native Dutch speaker speak a long Dutch word, we sit there and he goes, and it's like you just kind of compressed it all into a couple of consonants. That doesn't work.
The spring spembria faudis kan de polle gala. Yeah.
Ed will be selling tulips in the market next week.
Right. Kieran Keith says, do you think Airfix will expand into ships and armour again?
I don't think so.
Do they not still do? I'm not sure I've got a tank kit from Airfix. They still do some, don't they?
They do some. They do the small stuff like the Belfast and things like that. They do a few. No, they do some big ones as well, don't they? They do some of the recent Royal Naval ships.
Do you think they'll start to extend? Because like they've started retooling their 1/24th and 1/32 scale planes, into the high detail kits. But they only seem to do like one a year. They're quite slow in production in turnout terms. So do you think they'll start to extend that sort of modern tooling thing to boats? And because a lot of their catalogue is the old stuff, let's be honest.
I don't think they will. I think there's other people out there doing it, and Airfix could just stick at what they're good at, which is aircraft, really.
True. I mean, they've, things like Armour, they've got a lot of companies now that weren't there 20 years ago to compete with. It's almost not worth it for them.
No. Yeah, I think you can really say Airfix are a specialist in aircraft, because that's really what they do best. That's bread and butter stuff.
The thing you have to remember is, like I said, they don't churn out a lot of new kits each year. They're quite a low turnout. They're not like Meng or Bandai or Tacom that can churn out 30 or 40 new kits every year. They kind of do one or two whilst relying on their back catalog, because they've got a massive back catalog. Some of them are really old, but they've got this huge back catalog. They kind of rely on that whilst popping out one or two new toolings each year. So you could be right. Then maybe they will just stick to what they're best at.
Yeah. Teams 2000 says, can you recommend a good Stug 3 or 4 kit, please? I don't know what a Stug 3 or 4 is, so it's probably a Ted question.
It's a stumpy thing with a big gun in it, Ted.
Yeah. I could only think. I'll have a look in the store for you. Let's see if there's one in there.
While you're doing that, Totally Scale Models asked me what's happening with the 2 tugs. I've still got them down there. I'm doing the plane for. We haven't said about what we've done this week, but doing the plane for eModels. When I've done that, I'm going to do at least a bit more of the tug, and then.
Have we not said what we've done? Has Ted failed at his hosting?
We didn't do any of that, did we? No. He got distracted.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it at the beginning.
I'll get around in a minute and ask.
We can do it later in the show. It's not.
Yeah, we can always. I could say. I was actually waiting till just before the what's in store, and I was going to say while I was getting ready, I could sort of have a bit of time. Say, what have you been doing this week, Fox?
Am I remembering correctly that Stug is actually is like an abbreviation of Sturmgewehr, which is more like storm rifle, really? But
there's a nice trumpeter one there.
You're a nice trumpeter.
It's 1 second. It depends what scale you're wanting to look at. There's loads of them around. If you go for the Tamiya one, they also produce a set of 1/35th scale brass projectiles, so brass shells and stuff in it.
Philip Rhodes says Ethics have retired a lot of its old kits.
Right, I didn't know that.
Some of them is like it's about time.
I think if Airfix concentrated on just retooling the back catalogue rather than sort of withdraw it, retool it, and issue it again, they'll bring themselves back up to what they used to be.
Yeah.
As for Stug, there's loads of them. Just go eModels.
I'm pretty sure Tamir actually does a few Stugs. He's looking at 1/35th scale. He says Sturmgeschütz, that's it, not Sturmgewehr.
Yeah, Sturmgeschütz, that's it.
Gewehr rifle.
Stug 3 and Aust CD 7.5 with the L48 gun. There's that one. That's by Dragon. That's the
gun. Cannon. Yeah. Gewehr is rifle.
Expat Spain says Dragon Stugs are okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, correct pronunciation is Stuggengefahrten.
Stuggengefahrten
mit Zivilen und the Tracken und the Lunge and the Boomen and the Bangen and
the banging and the sticking the fingers in the buckets.
That's the full Adrian David's got a question which someone asked an early question earlier about is it cold where you are? Someone asked about snow and snow again.
No, we haven't got any snow, but it's damn cold.
We had snow over the weekend in London. Yeah,
we had a little bit.
It got about that deep.
We got about that much, and then it was just bitterly cold with all the wind. Yeah, it was like it was like the mini beast from the east. So,
mini beast.
Well, where we are.
There you go.
Can't get my teeth in. Sturmgeschütz translates into storming defense. They had good names, them Germans, didn't they?
Yeah.
What do we do? Name ours after animals and things and stuff, don't we?
Yeah, like Matilda.
Yeah.
And those are all like storm, death, defense, explosion.
Well, Matilda. What other tanks have we got? Oh no, we have got Conqueror and Challenger and what else? Can't remember. Never mind. Moving on. Philip Buck said he's got his
pizza.
He's got his back. He's back with his pizza. Pizza
and pizza. Oh.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. When is somebody going to order us a pizza? Yeah. When we're halfway through a live stream, we get a knock at the door. So somebody at the door.
Yeah. You know what'll happen, Ted? Somebody will knock at eModels' door. They'll be
they'll be at the gates. Can't get in. Yeah. There's somebody in.
Please, can you deliver this pizza to? Where have I delivered it? Can you deliver it to Ted at YouTube? Thanks. Bye. Click.
If they deliver it to eModels, it'd be very cold by the time it gets down to me.
Speedy Kate says, Grandad used to have battles with Stugs in his veg packs all the time. Oh, no, wait, that was Slugs.
Tony Black says, Valentine. Yeah, Conqueror, Challenger, Valentine.
Adrian David says, are we talking about Robot Wars?
No.
Robot Wars with Craig Charles, wasn't it?
Craig Charles.
Imagine spending weeks and weeks and months, all these kids have built this school project of this robot. Take it to Robot Wars, and it gets hammered to death in seconds. Loads of little kids.
They kind of tried to perfect the art of a half hour of trying to make something that sounds awesome, but which is essentially a minute of not that exciting because they're a bit shonky, into something exciting to watch, and it wasn't really. It was like, and pink, and it's fallen over its one.
It'd be much more exciting if they had to control it from inside the pit.
Yeah, there was one year where they had one, and all they did was put a little wedge on the front. So every time the other one came on, like and it just went and turned it over, and it was like, yeah, one now. Wow, that's captivating.
or they'd send the they'd send the show robot in just to hack it to pieces.
Yeah, and all the weapons were ultimately just a variation of a big hammer on a pivot. Bing, and that was it.
Yeah, you get a class full of teary-eyed kids watching them.
I know, it's like all you did was make a hammer with wheels. Let's just be honest, or a knife.
Apparently, they've cancelled Robot Wars again.
I don't think it's a loss to the entertainment industry. Let's just be honest. It was never that good. Wait till we get manned full-size mecha type things going on as a normal television program. Then we're talking.
Don't they make kits of things like that?
No.
FX modelling thing said he got stuck at sea on his yacht in the snow. Well, did you find Pete?
Yeah. Were you with Pete on the same boat? Is that why he got stuck?
Was Pete out there? A little 3.5 foot yacht sailed past.
You have to ask the question though. Why did you go out sailing in that weather anyway? Isn't that like a really dumb thing to do? Shouldn't you only go out in the sun when it's so warm that you can have ladies on the deck with the bikinis and the sun and the cocktails and the happiness?
That's not the point about sailing. It's like mountaineers. Why do you climb that mountain? Because it's there. You've got to go to sea in bad weather and fight the elements. Yeah, I could quite understand. Yeah, being out at sea. Yeah, your wind's gone down, but it's snowing and it's cold, and your the gas has run out in your kettle. Yeah, been there. Yeah.
Scott says I had a nice try trying to get things that say the word, but no. There's lots of things there that they're saying with lots of words that I'm not even going to try. So Fox has got to read them.
There you go.
About Stugs and things.
They both totally missed that, didn't they? You did both totally miss that.
Yep.
Moving on.
I'll watch it back later. It's all right.
Yeah. Matt Pab says a couple of Stug kits. The SDK have said 167 Stug 4 mid-production smart kit Dragon 6582. So put hashtag 6582 on the eModels site. Or the SDK have said 167 Stug 4 early production with Zimmerit is 6576. I don't know if they're in stock, but I'm assuming they are.
There's a couple of other ones above that as well, 6633 and 6371.
Yep. Oh, I get to read some German.
Yeah, or just got eModels and type Stug and the proper clever search bar. I'll find it for you.
I wanted to read out Flustigasantreib, but you didn't let me.
Stop it.
Sturmgeschütz 3 mit Flustigasantreib by Cyber.
Griff MJ says it was probably Mech Warriors that I was thinking about. Yeah.
Could be.
Michael Jackman said Philip may be hungry while waiting for pizza. Yeah, if you're ordering pizza, I like a 4 cheese one with anchovy toppings.
Meat, lots of meat.
Yeah, meat with meat and meat. If you can somehow get meatballs on it.
No mushrooms though.
We used to have a local pizza place that was like bizarrely round the corner, literally round the corner from my house was an old row of shops with like a post office and a chemist and stuff. And it wasn't anything that you would have a decent shop in, but this pizza place, this Papa John's appeared. This is about 15, 20 years ago. We'd never heard of Papa John's. We're like, it's a pizza takeaway place. And this was before takeaways became like one on every street. And it was great because they actually used to do meatball pizzas, but it would have like a spicy hot chili sauce on it. So it'd be like cheese and meatballs, like proper big meatballs, and this spicy hot chili sauce. And I get them to deliver, even though they were like 30 yards away, just because I could.
Yeah, well, if it's free delivery, why go out?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Totally Scale Model says, what are Mr. Hobby aqueous paints like? I don't know. I've not used them.
I've not used them. Sorry.
No, I've not used them, but I hear they're quite good. They're just water-based acrylic paints. They're supposed to be very good. Yeah. FX Models and Things says, are eModels going to increase their motorcycle kits? They're always up for having more. If there's a specific kit you're looking for, drop the guys an email. They can no doubt get it for you.
Yeah. They've got all the Tamiya ones.
They are the UK's biggest Tamiya stockists. So if there's a specific Tamiya kit you're looking for, give them a shout, a bike kit, and they will definitely be able to get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
TK says everything went furry with a wet nose for a minute. I mean, his internet must be misbehaving. I don't think it was internet. I think it was probably that the animal jumped in front of the screen.
Have you not got a proper puppy dog filter on the computer?
Oh, I've been watching them puppy dog videos again, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of people craving pizza as well. Kieran Keith says, how did eModels come about? I think we did this the other week, didn't we?
How did eModels come about?
Yeah.
Probably alcohol in the pub, I would guess.
You said there used to be a real shop.
Seems like a good idea at the time.
I don't actually know the origin story. I never actually asked Pete what the origin story is.
You said a couple of weeks back there used to be a real shop, but I don't know
No,
if that was before.
they used to have an actual physical store as well as the online. As well as the warehouse where the eModels.co.uk is, not too far away. They had actual physical bricks and mortar shop, but it didn't do very well because the majority of the trade's online. So that's not there anymore.
Yeah. It's a question we need to ask Pete sometime when we get around it. I think he has mentioned it briefly in passing it to me in the time, but I forget things easily. And I can't quite remember now. I think it just evolved. Yeah. So, yeah, that's right. Right.
Chris Dolby's got a question. What do you use to seal and level your paintwork before you put your decals on? He's got TS80
and XF86, and if either will be fine. I can't remember what exactly those products are. Let me just double check.
TS is going to be a rattle can.
TS80 is black clear acrylic. That should be fine. XF86 is
still got your loud keyboard there, then I hear.
Yes, of course, my 1980s keyboard. Clear matte coat. Possibly. However, if I'm sealing decals in, I tend to seal them with a gloss coat.
Yeah.
Purely because I'll probably have weathering to do after like panel lining that I'll need a gloss coat anyway. So I just use my Pledge Floor Care Finish 2 times more shine as a gloss coat. And then I put my decals on and then I'll seal it again. If you finish the model and you've done all your weathering, you don't always have to do a matte coat. My personal preference is Humbrol 49 Rattle Can Matte. I've never, ever had a problem with it, and I've used it. It's outdoors, and I've used it in cold, hot, slightly damp, a little bit rainy, but I'm rushing to get it done. I've never had a problem with it. Matte 49 acrylic varnish. But if you're using enamels and oils for your weathering, so you put your gloss coat down, do your decals, you've got a gloss coat, you do your panel line wash, and then you start doing things like streaking and filters and other things. Depending on how you use them, the enamels and the oils that you use for your weathering can actually matte the surface down. And if you ever watch any of Mig Jimenez when he does his like how to do things videos and he's in front of an audience, occasionally somebody will say, do you seal it with a matte varnish? And he'll be like, no, never use a matte varnish. Your model, when you finish doing all the weathering with oils and enamels, your model will be matte enough. Some areas might still be shiny, but that's how real vehicles look. Because everything comes out the factory shiny and then gets matted down with weathering. So he always says, don't bother matte varnishing it. You don't need to, unless you're going to handle it. If you're going to put it in a little display cabinet and never touch it, you don't actually have to matte varnish it. But yes, I just seal it with gloss usually because I've got
I don't usually finish my models with a matte varnish because I usually get to that stage and then just forget and move on.
You just get bored. You move on to the
next one. That's finished now. I'm not bothered with that. Yeah.
I think we're okay. Seymour Bobbington says, "Damn, you're going to order a pizza now." So I think.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm getting really hungry. I only had a bowl of cereal for me tea.
No, I think he means he's going to order for us.
Yeah, we've got Domino's. We've got a pizza hut as well. I don't know if I buy pizza. I think Domino's live.
I can't even go out and get food because my car's dead. My battery's dead, so I can't drive and get food. And my local favorite Chinese Thai restaurant, which does the finest ho fun soup you've ever come across, roast duck ho fun soup. Oh my god, and udon noodles. Oh, they're not open at the minute. They're like closed for holiday and they'll be back in September. Which is a 3-year-old message from like 3 years ago, so I don't know how and when they'll be back. So I'm pining. I'm starving now.
Coming back, are they?
And I've got no Cheerios left because I've eaten them all for my tea. So,
while we're talking about clear gloss, FX models and things, can you recommend a spray can clear gloss other than Tamiya? Keeps wrecking his decals with Tamiya.
I've never used a gloss spray rattle can that I've thought was any good.
No.
But I've never used the Tamiya one, and I've never used the Mr. Hobby Mr. Top Coat Gloss, I think it's called. However, they're kind of expensive and about that big, so I wouldn't use them anyway. But I can't say for those two, but the other ones I've tried using. I tried the Humbrol Gloss Rattle Can. It just didn't work. I don't actually have to finish anything gloss, though, because all my models are either matte or matte. So the only gloss coats I ever use are purely utilitarian. Apart from like the odd bit of gold trim on a Warhammer kit, but then I just brush that Pledge on, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Adrian David's got a question that might help Ted out. He says, "What are you guys working on at the moment?"
Oh, yeah, that's an opportunity. Yeah,
that's a good segue.
Yeah, what are you working on today, Fox?
This week, I've been mostly continuing with the Imperial Skitter that I was working on last week, the eModels build. I've not got a lot done. I've done some enamel pin washes and filters on this. I did some filters that didn't quite come out as I planned. They came out kind of invisible, but they were all right. And I've done a bit of a pin wash that turned from a pin wash into a just cover it in streaking grime and then rub most of it off. To give it a kind of dirty, shady look. It won't really come out on camera now. But it's that kind of time now when I'm doing things in enamels where I do like one coat and then wait for 24 hours and then do another coat and wait for 24 hours. So it's a bit of a slow production. That's why part 4 of the video build is dead slow at the minute, because it's waiting for 24 hours for each thing. So I've done some enamels on that. You'll see that in part 4. When I've done those, I'm probably going to do some mud and dirt and filth and dirt and filth. And then I've got other little bits to do. Then once that's whether I can start painting the figures. And once the figures are done, I can get a diorama going. So I've just been working on that. And I may have spent quite a bit of time playing Elite Dangerous, but don't tell anyone at eModels. Oh, wait, we're not on the internet, are we?
No, they won't notice.
No, they'll never know. They'll never know.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime between coats, so it's like I've got really hooked on Elite Dangerous. It's just mint. I got myself a HOTAS stick and everything. It's like, whoa.
Sorry, I'm just taking the time and sort of Pete. I'm just taking the time that Cuffisher came in. Just yeah, right. And Chris, what have you been working on?
I've been doing same as ever, doing the plane. It might look much the same as it did last week, but this is actually the actual colour for the most of it, the grey. I did prime it in grey, but this is now painted. I've got to do the camo over the top, but I've spent most of the week, again, with a lot of downtime. There were some sort of fairly big seam lines on the tops of the wings where they're joined, so I was filling those and waiting for it to dry and then sanding it and then priming it and then seeing, no, it's still not quite right, so I'd do it again and fill it and wait for it to dry and sand. So yeah, I've been with a lot of downtime, funnily enough, playing Elite Dangerous with Fox, but we won't mention that either.
Yeah, I won't say anything, but the only reason I got a HOTAS stick is because Chris got a HOTAS stick, and I was like, I need one of them now, because he was like, this is brilliant. I'm like, oh, I've spent that money now.
Just coming up to 10 o'clock.
It's quite convenient of the USAF to actually paint their planes in Battleship Grey, then, isn't it? Primer Grey.
It's quite a valid point, though, Chris, that you made there. People keep asking, why should I prime a model? But yeah, as you brought it up there, it shows out the imperfections and things that didn't filling and sorted out before you can carry on.
That is a good question that I get asked all the time, to be honest. Why should I prime a model? And I get people that say, oh, I don't bother priming, I just use a paint of the right colour and prime it. I'll say this now. Always, 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 always prime your models. Paint does not stick to bare plastic very well at all. If you paint your model without priming it and you handle it while you're making it, that paint will come off. It'll be easily removed. A primer, first of all, will fill in any little tiny microscopic little imperfections. It will allow you to see where you've filled in a seam, like Chris says. So you can primer over it and say, oh, like you might fill a seam and it look brilliant. Cover it in primer. Suddenly you've got a big bulge where the seam is. That you can use that as your guide coat. But most importantly, it bonds to the plastic in a way that paint doesn't. It bonds to the plastic either chemically or by magic. I can't remember the other method. Some etch primers actually etch into the plastic. It bonds to the plastic, and then the paint has a surface to which the paint can bond very well because it's a rough sort of textured surface. If you just put paint on bare plastic, it will not stick very well at all. It might do, but it might not. So don't risk it for a biscuit. Prime your models. It's the best way to see any imperfections that you might need to fill, and it helps your paint stick. Don't argue, just do it.
That's why people often ask questions about thinning primer. Don't thin your primer.
Yeah, don't thin your primer.
Yeah,
it changes the way it works.
Yeah. And you can guarantee that you'll get a perfect covering. You get a fantastic, flat, smooth, ideal covering on your model, and then you'll notice the seam line that wants rubbing off.
Yeah. And some people think, well, I'll just use a grey paint. Paint is not primer. Paint is not designed to etch itself or chemically bond to the plastic. Primer is. Well, some primers, there are some primers mentioning their names, Vallejo, which doesn't work at all, basically. But, you know, most primers in some way or other will in one form or another, bond to the smooth, shiny, non-porous plastic. Plastic is non-porous and shiny. Paint won't do it. Don't ask you to do it.
Yeah, get yourself some of the Ultimate Primer or some of the MIG one-shot to see stuff. Them stuff, different
primer's awesome. If I'm going to airbrush a primer, I'm going to burp, excuse me. Ooh, vegetable curry. I've got hair in my mouth. If I'm going to airbrush a primer, I'm going to use the UMP primer because it's brilliant. It's also known as Ammo one-shot or Badger Style ROs, depending on where you are in the world. If I'm going to rattle can a primer, my two choices are Tamiya primers because they're rock hard, or they only come in white and grey. Or if I want a black primer, I tend to use the Citadel stuff because it's a big can and it's really nice. But yeah, the Tamiya primer is by far the best rattle can primer because it's lacquer based and it's rock hard. It'll take any paint on top and it's hard. It's going to stay while you're handling the model. It's going to stay in place.
Yeah, Chris Dolby says it's good news. He just bought some UMP white primer as a test. The primers I've got now, I've got grey, black, gloss black, white, and it makes a big difference to the paint. Something you don't think about initially is the colour of your primer, because paint isn't always a solid colour. Even, you know, putting a black paint over the top of a different coloured primer will give a different effect.
Do be aware as well with any white primer, not just the UMP stuff, but I know the UMP stuff the same. For some reason, white primer, just be careful with it. Shake the living carp out of it more than you would normally, and you might find it dries out on the tip of your airbrush a bit more often than other colours. It's not specific to UMP. Most white primers do this. They dry out really quick. I don't know why. It must be something in the way white primers are made. So just make sure you shake it a lot and regularly clean the tip of your airbrush off.
Yeah, be patient with it and apply it in thin mist coats. Yeah, because it's different to the greys and the blacks. It just behaves differently.
Griff MJ says he uses Vallejo primer and never had a problem. I did start using Vallejo primer and didn't think I had a problem until I used some UMP stuff and found it was just worlds apart. Yeah. But it works for you. It works for you. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I've used the Vallejo primer. I've tried to use the Vallejo primer, and it's just you had to get it exactly right. If you didn't get it exactly right, it just wouldn't give an even finish, or you just could not mask over it because the primer would just come up with no effort. And I tried every which way. I left it for 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days on various kits. This is going back a few years, and I just could not get it to either stick, or if it did stick, it wasn't sandable at all. You try and sand it, and it doesn't give you a feathered edge. It just gives you a rough, jaggedy edge, and that's the two things you want a primer to do are dry very fast, which is important, stick, so be maskable, and be sandable. And if it's either not one of any of those three, I'm not going to waste my time on it. So if you've been able to use it, then you must be getting it exactly right. That's brilliant. But I never was able to get it to work, and it didn't do any of the three things I needed it to do. So I'm not gonna spend money on a product I don't trust.
Yep.
Rustin Custom Models asks if you're going to put any decals on your kit.
Yes, I already have. They're massive. They're not really. There's one on the back that just you won't be able to see them because it'll be out of focus. The little 144 on the back there, little tribute to our little co-host Chris. I mentioned that in the video. There's three little skulls there on the front, and on the side it says Honorum Gloriam, but it's kind of chipped because I chipped it away where the chipping is. So that's on. There's some little stripes on the twin linked autocannon, but you won't be able to see them because it'll be out of focus. So I used 4 tiny decals, and I broke the rules. You'll see in the video when it goes up at some point. I broke the rules doing the decals. You'll find out why. I didn't follow the official rules, but it came out fine.
We haven't found what Ted's been doing this week.
Oh yes, Ted's got a lot of things to show.
Well, I've been frantically getting on with the U-boat because
you've got a deadline now.
Yeah, I've got a deadline now. I don't know if I mentioned. Did I mention it last week?
Moving.
Did I mention it last week? Yeah, the Hawksworth Man Cave is moving. Yes, we have bought a house, or are going through the process of buying another house. So how long it is between now and packing up and moving, I don't really know. So I've got a bit of a deadline. So I've been getting on with the U-boat. This is the back end. Remember the clear section? Remember the clear section at the back was all clear. Yeah, obviously. I've decided to paint it, and I'm now halfway through the video. So I've painted the top half. I've just done the bottom half, and if you can see, I've found a really nice way of sort of not pre-shading, but sort of creating a worn, weathered, washed off type look. On the whole. Hopefully,
I like the fact that it has almost different levels of shiny. So you get the shiny bits and then the slightly less shiny bits, and it gives it that kind of
it gives it that sort of sea wash type look. So that's the bit. I've been trying it all out on that. Hopefully, in the next few days or so, the video will be sort of finished and we'll get the back end done. Then it'll all start going together. So yeah.
Zadster says he hopes the new Ted Cove has got fast internet. I'm hoping it's got a new chair as well.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping it's got any internet of any kind, because
when I do move, I'll give you an advance warning. But when we do move, I'll maybe off air for a few weeks, or a week at least.
Or 10 minutes.
Yeah. So these guys, wherever they are, they'll have to look after you.
I'm the all that week.
Yeah.
I'm in the convent. I've got my holy orders to deal with. So.
Michael Jackman said the props look good. Yeah, they are. They're the AK True Metals. I've shown you them before.
I hate to be that guy, Ted, but are they props or are they screws? Or are they impellers?
It depends. Depends where you are. Depends what navy you're in. It depends how posh you are. I'd call them props, screws,
Spinny things.
Yeah.
Motors.
Yeah, I've got to remember. You'll see in the video. Remember to put them on the right side, because there's two different.
And the left side.
Yeah. So left and the right side.
Yes.
Port and the starboard side. Remember, they need to go on the right side. Otherwise, somebody Rivet County might point them out that you've got them the wrong way around.
There'll always be one, Ted. That's why I said that I hate to be that guy. It was kind of an ironic. I hate to be that guy.
Yeah. So that's what I've been getting on with that.
Jackham's about to get pizza, I think.
Hey, you can say he's had a knock on the door. It's either that or the TV detector van or something.
Yeah. Polis.
If he doesn't come back, he's in trouble.
I really want pizza now. God damn it.
Kieran Keith says, do you guys use the stretching sprue method to make welding joins and aerials, etc.?
No. I've lots of different ways of making aerials. One way of making aerial is to pinch the. If your wife's got a dustpan and brush under the sink, go pinch it. Take a bristle out. You've got an aerial. Otherwise, only at the last resort, I'll stretch some sprue if I can't find anything that I will do instead.
Do they not come with your kits then?
No.
Or do you lose them or break them, or is that?
No, usually
they're too fine to be molded. Usually, they're just. Or you might get one. Like, a Warhammer kit will have one that in reality will be about this wide in diameter. So, but they're just silly. But like a real proper kit, they tend to either have them, but they look a bit thick, or they just don't include them. Like to me, kits always have the bit the aerial goes in, but not the actual aerial, because you've got to make that bit yourself. I've stretched a few sprues for whip antennas before now, but yeah, as soon as Ted showed the take a bristle off your yard brush or your dustpan and brush, I'm like, yeah, I'm using that next time.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
Another idea for an antenna is a G-string from a guitar. Do the job.
Ted and his flesh tones and G-strings, eh?
G-strings, yeah. The G-string seems to be the perfect size for an acoustic. For an acoustic guitar, use a G-string.
Did you just say? Hang on. Did I just hear you say G-strings are the perfect size for an acoustic guitar that needs a G-string?
No.
G-string
is an ideal size from an acoustic guitar. A G-string.
Oh, I thought you meant it's perfect size for a guitar that needs it.
Yeah. That's it. Nylon bristles from a floor bush, says Griff J. Yeah.
Yes. You stretch fuse wire, Adrian David says.
Yeah, sometimes I find that fuse wires are a little bit soft. It does tend to get bashed if you touch
Because it all depends what scale of kit you're building. I mean, the 144 kits, I probably can't use anything because it'd just be far too fine to.
Yeah, but you wouldn't see a whip antenna on a Jeep if it was 144 scale.
You only just see the Jeep. Yeah, Michael Jackson's pizza's arrived.
Oh, shut up!
Oh, pizzas!
Don't even begin to tell us what's on it. What's on it?
I can smell. Yeah, I can smell the pizza. Smell the melted
Please say it's boring cheese and tomato, in which case I'll feel a lot better because that's the most boring pizza in the world. It's like having a margarine sandwich, just bread and margarine.
Yeah, I did say before cheese and anchovies. Now, scrub the anchovies.
I love anchovies.
Chuck the meatballs on and some more tomato sauce.
Nowhere does anchovies anymore.
It's because they're horrible.
No, they're gorgeous.
Aren't they endangered?
I have to say though, after many years of having like Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's delivered, and
other pizza
when you're paying like 15 quid for a pizza, and my kebab shop round the corner will do you a really, really nice pizza for like 3 quid, I'll never order Domino's or Pizza Hut or any of that trash again, because there's no way I'm going to pay 15 quid for a pizza when you can get a nice one from my kebab shop for like a £5 at the most. It's nonsense. The prices you pay for takeout pizzas is ridiculous. Yeah. Unless it's the sausage stuffed crust, in which case I'll let them off.
Adrian Davis said, "Is this a model blog or a food blog?"
Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's
lucky we haven't started talking about 80s TV yet.
Yeah, we have now.
Spider Q says, just to be awkward, as a former attemptee of a guitarology, I can tell you there are different thicknesses of strings here, typically labelled by the high thinnest string. Yeah, that's right.
GBC.
EIEIO.
BE. I think that's him.
I don't think there's a. Yeah, no, it's not EADBG.
Yeah.
You missed out the G string, which is the entire crux of the original joke.
Well, he hasn't got one. It's in his drawer behind him.
Hang on. It's right. 6 strings.
EADBG.
EADGBE.
What about a bass guitar? It's only got 4 strings.
Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah. Just needs 1 string. If it's status quo, it needs 1 string. Dun, 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 dun.
Do we remember any toys from the 80s? Yeah, somebody mentioned it before. Have you seen that program, that supermarket advert with the action man?
I've got that down here as a question. Simon D said, "Have you seen the Money Supermarket Action Man advert?" No, I don't watch adverts.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, not the Action Man I remember.
Phil Kett says EADGBE. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie.
I read it as eat all day, get big easy.
EGBDF, EELEO. People just putting random letters up now. I'm not sure.
I like yellow.
No, that's EIEIO.
TK says 5 or 6. I'm not sure what that. Oh, I think he's talking about bass guitars. Can have 5 or 6. Yeah, normally 4.
Yeah, but how many strings does a 12-string guitar have? That's just getting crazy now, aren't we?
I know, yeah.
How do people know? How nobody knows that, you know?
No. And why?
Yeah. How do the tides work? How do magnets work? How many strings does a 12-string guitar have? What if you got one of the guitars with 2 necks?
Right.
If you're left-handed, you'd string it all backwards.
No, I don't. I'm left-handed, but I play normally. Play it the right way around. Well, no, I correct that. I don't play it. I just hold it because I've never managed to play.
You just sit there and go with your mouth.
Yeah, I learned about 2 chords and then move on to something else.
I once visited some friends in St Andrews many years ago at the university there, and there was a music shop, and I walked into the music shop and there was a sign above the door that said, "If you play Stairway to Heaven, you'll be thrown out." And I actually saw it happen. Somebody started playing it and they threw him out. So you got to leave now. What? Look at the sign. Oh,
Speedy Q8 says that there are thinner and thicker strings for all types of the tone and style of playing, so you can get a 0.6 higher and a 0.8 higher. So that, I know there's different materials can be different thicknesses for the same note of string.
See, this is all Greek to me because I was a synthesizer player, not a guitar player. So
I just took the guitar into the guitar shop with a space where the spring had got. I've got one of them.
Can I have one that fits in there, please?
Yeah, can I have one of them?
TK says, I'm assuming I have a lot of lag. I'll answer that in about 5 minutes.
We've already answered the question that you just asked because saw it ages ago. Yeah.
Right. It's getting up. It's 10:15. Oh, well, don't know yet. Yeah. Right. Any more questions from you guys? I'm sure they're all coming in. I've got lots of giveaway questions tonight, so we're all right for those. Right, where are we up to?
Zadster says the River Air runs past him, and there's a music shop called Air Guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did the guy just move to Air so he could open?
Just so he could open the guitar shop. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 80s TV. Yeah, we're a bit of a loss this week, wasn't it? Jim Bowen died. Yeah,
it's been a harsh week for people of legend passing away.
Yeah, Ken Dodd. Yeah,
Ken Dodd.
It's hilarious. What a fine day it is to run up to the door of the Kremlin, knock on the door, and shouting through the letterbox, "Is Lenin?" What a fine day to shove a cucumber through the Navy's letterbox and say the Hori bases the Martians have landed.
Ken, I didn't realise he was only 80. I thought he was a lot older than that, but there you go.
Yeah.
And Stephen Hawking, of course, passed away at the start of the week.
Yeah.
No, start of last week. A legend in astrophysics.
I did try and read the history of time thing and couldn't really get into it.
That was good, man. He only really got a bit confusing when he got into about 11 dimensions. I was like, oh, you're pushing it a bit now. I must go back and read it. He had a wicked sense of humour. He'll be missed.
Yeah, Griff MJ says, look at what you could have won.
Look at what you could have won. Yeah. Speedboat. You could have had this speedboat, or you could have had this brown one mini metro.
Yeah. My favourite clip is of Jim Bowen stood there and he's like, no, question for the big prize now. Big prize, set the cutlery. Right, here we go. What is the biggest state in the US, Texas? Oh. I like the fact that the thing on Bullseye was that nobody really understood any of the rules and they kind of made it up.
In one. This grand gramophone.
Yes.
With all the buttons and a drop-down door where you could put your records.
Yeah, it was always like the prizes were always like in this really odd scale of cutlery set, teas made, soda stream, speedboat.
Yeah.
Didn't they give away one speedboat ever or something?
They did. There's a photograph that came up the other day, and I read a story about the people who actually won the speedboat, and they had no use for it because they lived in a council estate in the middle of Birmingham or something. So they're like, there's a photograph of the speedboat just parked on the side of the road, dumped on the side of the road. I think they sold it in the end.
Nothing in this game for two in a bed.
Yep.
In two.
Anybody who's not in the UK and doesn't know what Bullseye is, just go when you finish watching this stream and not before, just go on YouTube and look up Bullseye.
The other terrible game show.
More northern than Michael Parkinson, and that's pretty hard to say.
Yeah. If you can make a game show out of darts.
Yeah, I mean darts.
The other worst one was Dusty Bin, wasn't it? My name. They used to come out with a rhyme at the end or something, didn't they? They had to try and guess what it was. My name is in Ford. My name is like crossing the river at Ford. And I am a mode of transport. What am I? Oh, that's a difficult one.
Sometimes they're either so simple or they were just completely nobody. The questions were like,
we really need to give a car away this week. So we're going to make the question so simple, you've got to have it.
And you walk away with the cutlery set.
Yeah,
if it says Bullseye was better than Dusty Bin, you're damn straight.
Spinnick says he saw him interviewed where he explained the great Super Smashing Lovely thing came from the fact that he was new to TV presenting and terrified.
Yeah. He used to live in an old train station, an old countryside train station that he converted into a house.
On the side. Oh, right. Okay.
Like a little, like a little rural thing with like just one platform and a little building.
I thought you meant he was homeless and just used to sleep on the platform.
Bullseye is like the most northern thing.
It was it was on par with wheel tappers and shunters. That was northern as well.
Tappers and shunters, ding ding ding. Didn't he do well? Give the lad a round of applause. He's worked really hard for that. Come on now, give him.
No, anybody with yellow ticket for
pies on, lads. Bars open, pies are on. In the middle of some act. Pies on, lads. Yeah, so if you're not native to the UK, you don't know what Bullseye is, just go and look it up. It's the worst television ever, but it's just so good. It's just brilliant.
Good, yeah. Brilliant.
This was entertainment in the 1980s. These were quiz shows.
When they used to give away things like teas made, whoever had a teas made. Yeah, correction, we had a teas made.
Without sin,
and you wake up in the morning with your tea brewing, but it was warm overnight, so your milk had gone off.
Yes. And they were always like crappy plastic thing with a light inside, and it just looked horrible. I mean, but the thing is, right? You look at those game shows then, and they were terrible. The scary thing is that game shows nowadays are a million times worse, and they were already at an all-time low in the 80s.
Yeah,
it's just like wow.
Adrian David says, "What was the game show with Paul Daniels?" I don't remember. There was a quiz thing, wasn't it?
Didn't he do Blankety Blank? Oh, no, did he?
No,
that was Terry Wogan, wasn't it?
Oh,
originally, yeah. I remember it. So there was some sort of quiz, something or other. But
something with Whizbit, but that was maths. That was
a kids' TV show. That was. Yeah,
that was Johnny Ball.
That wasn't a quiz.
I don't know. I think there was one with Paul Daniels, but I can't remember what it was. It was probably terrible, whatever it was.
Yeah, somebody will know. Somebody.
Jasper Carrot did one as well, didn't he? With a bit.
Oh yeah, Golden
or something.
Oh, Jasper Carrot. There's going back. There's a talent that's disappeared over the last 30 years.
It's
Carrot bowls.
Goblin teas made. Yeah.
Whatever happened to Jasper Carrot?
Don't know. He's up your way, isn't he?
I know, but he's Birmingham. He's right.
Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared off the radar.
Drove off into the sunset on his funky moped.
I think he kind of went out with Thatcherism and that kind of era of politics and just.
Lucky numbers, Sprugu Addict says that might have been it. Wasn't Generation Game or Celebrity Squares.
Odd One Out was Paul Daniels. No, I remember there was a program, but I don't remember.
No, I don't remember. I can remember it vaguely. I can't remember anything about it.
Mike Harding, there's a name.
Mike Harding.
Mikey Bentine's Potty Time. That wasn't a quiz show.
Yeah.
Oh, it was children's TV. That was brilliant. Michael Bentine's Potty Time and a Potty Man. I used to like the bit where they were invisible and you just saw the footprints going through the sand.
TK's off.
No, TK. Or he might have already gone with the leg. He's probably gone 10 minutes ago. But
we must catch up, TK.
Yeah. He's up at, he's up like at 2:30 in the morning to go to his job of work.
And it's extra mornings there as well, isn't it?
It's not surprising he needs to go to bed early.
Michael Jackman's mate Jim presented Big Break, was it?
What, Jim Thingamajig?
What's it?
Jim Davis. No, not Jim Davis.
Davidson.
Jim Davis.
Jim Davidson, wasn't it?
Because it was him and the
umpire. Yeah.
Is that a subtle way of name dropping that you know Jim Davidson? Is that like a long-winded, circuitous way of
my mate Jim. Yeah, fetch him in the show next week.
Yeah, get him in, get him commenting.
Yeah. He might be there already under a pseudonym.
Seems to have faded away.
It could be, Michael Jackman. It could be him.
Yeah, some other kind of like comedy talent from the 80s and 90s that's sort of disappeared into the mist somewhere.
Yeah,
he made enough money.
He got into very blue comedy, didn't he? And
yeah, but he did. He was a good laugh on like Big Break and stuff. He was a good presenter.
Jim Davison, Big Break. That was a snooker one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Because he had him and the referee guy's name. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, well, they try to do the same with snooker as did to darts.
Yeah, they got the public to do a trick shot at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, it was actually quite funny. It was alright, that program. Snooker Loopy.
Mr. Interesting. No, it wasn't Steve Davis.
Nah.
Yeah, it was Steve Interested Davis, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't the one on Big Break.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't on it.
John Virgo. That was it.
Seymour Bobbington said a golden shot. I think that was mentioned before. Yeah, Bob Monkhouse, brilliant comedian.
Right.
Golden shot, Bernie the Bolt.
Actually, somebody's just pointed out that wasn't Jim Davidson like really racist? And he's like, oh, you thinking about it? Yes, actually, it was. So that's why he's not been around for 20 years.
Stream shut down quite quick, so no.
Yeah, I kind of only really remember him from Big Break, where he was not allowed to be anything at all. So. Then thinking about it, yes, you're right. So let's not remember him fondly too much.
Carl's coming. Good evening, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Osric 9000 says, what's in store?
Question in big capital letters.
Yeah.
What is that's a hint, Ted.
Yeah. Sorry, what? Who, what?
Osric 9000 says, what's in store in big
right. Sorry, I didn't hear it. Right, what's in store? It's.
I think it's a hint.
Yeah, right. I've got to press buttons now. Right, yeah, let's go and have a look at what's in store. I think it's an opportune time when you can talk amongst yourselves about nostalgic TV. And,
wait, is that me and Chris or the watchers?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, because I can't see the chat when I'm on, so anybody that's got. Yeah.
We'll keep you updated with any comments.
Right. I've got to look it on me first, haven't I?
Yeah, look it on you first.
You're
learning, Ted. You're learning.
I'm learning. I'll get there in the end.
Only been doing it a year and a bit.
Yeah. A year and a bit. Yeah. Right. Right, I've got it locked on me. Now I've got to find the screen that we've got to share with.
Not that screen. Make sure you cut that tab down.
Yeah, right. Oh, that one. Yeah, can't see that. That's. Right, that's that one. Right. No, that's not that one. That's that one. Right, that's it. Okay, right, I found it. Right, I press the share screen button now, don't I? That's the green
the one.
Not that button.
Not the one that says stop broadcast. Right, share screen, and it asks me. This is where I mix up because it asked me to share it again. It asked me twice. Share, okay.
I'm sure you want to share it.
Share. All right, here we are. Yes, what we're going to do this week, because eModels have had a huge delivery this week of Tamiya. What else did they have? Tamiya, Meng,
Ammo by Meg, and
Ammo by Meg. Everybody. I don't know where they've got it. I believe they've got a container outside of the yard now, where they put all the extra stuff.
They said they were going to get an actual freight container to put stuff in.
Yeah, there are probably about 3 of them there now. It'll look like Dover Dockyard, won't it? With all the, have they got one of them big cranes that will trundle along and lift?
No, they've just got John.
Ah, right, yeah, yeah.
Lifting and shifting,
and a ladder.
Yeah, and a lad as well.
So what,
John as well.
Yeah. So what I thought we'd do this week, rather than sort of pick an individual item out, we'll just have a run through. We'll have a flick through of if we see anything interesting in the particular range.
Oh, Horch! I saw a Horch. I love Horches.
Huh?
I got fond memories of making the Tamiya Horch kit.
Oh, let's look at one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's quite nice. Yeah. It's just a little like. I'm not quite sure what this is.
Is that wheel in the middle for when it goes over hills?
Is that for humpback bridges?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a troop transport. You sometimes get anti-aircraft guns in the back of it. It had like rows of bench seats that all the dudes could sit in.
Ah, right.
And it sometimes pulled like, tractor trailers and things like that. Tank trailers, things like that.
The most widely used of all vehicle types because they were cheap and very mobile. Personnel carriers based on a commercial car chassis basis, body style, folded caliper screens took the place of doors. So they were, it looked like they were cheap and cheerful. To improve on the cross-country vehicle or cross-country ability, these early Kubelwagen had large section tyres, strengthened springs, and lower actual ratios. Yeah, okay. A nice little, 135. The price of that's £10.
There is a beautiful kit. I've made one many, many years ago. I don't know if this is a new release or the original tooling, but it doesn't really matter because they're all awesome anyway, the Tamiya ones. But the beauty is it's begging for you to not use the plastic roof and just make your own tilt out of, some like very thin wire to make the frame and then some tissue or similar, or however you want to do it to make the canvas tilt. It's perfect for that.
Important news from the chat. Seymour Bobbington's pizza's arrived. Got meat feast.
Now then, will he eat it all tonight or will he save some for tomorrow?
Why wouldn't you eat it all in the next 5 minutes? That would be crazy if you didn't.
Well, yeah, because some people like the pizza in the morning.
No. I eat all the pizza when it's in front of me because it's food and I need to eat it or die. Anyway, back to models.
Back to models. Yeah, back to Tamiya. There's one I built. I built the Tamiya. I built this command car a long time ago.
Oh God, I built that many years ago.
Yeah,
I converted two of the figures into something else. I remember many years ago.
Yeah, there was a few versions of this one. The M577 command post model. There was this version, and there was the armor personal carrier itself, wasn't there? Because
yes,
I got given this kit, and I wasn't actually sort of overawed with it. Not because of the kit, but just because of the subject of it. I thought, it wasn't as glamorous because it didn't have big guns and things on it. But yeah, made up to a nice kit in the end anyway. Even
it certainly add some Warhammer bits to that and make it into some kind of funky rhino-looking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I had the kit myself many years ago, and I actually took some of the figures. And this is how I was saying a few weeks ago, how like when I was young, I was dead creative and I had no I could just do anything. I'd be like, I'm going to do this, and this, and have no boundaries. Now I'm older. I'm very cautious. I don't like to try new things because I'm old and like, get off my lawn. So when I was really young, I took like the guy leaning on the table and totally converted that figure to have like an animal's head and stuff, like different clothes. And that's what I was like when I was like 15. I was like, I'd get there and sculpt things. Now I couldn't do that if I tried. The flourishings of youth when you're all kind of creative, and then you get old and it all goes away and you're like,
yeah, as I say, I got it as well, and I built it. As I said, it was given to me, but I wasn't overawed with it because it wasn't a big romantic gun poking thing. So yeah, but yeah, nothing wrong with the kit at all.
Now, as we said before, don't forget, of course, Tamiya, eModels are the UK's largest and main Tamiya stockist. So if there are any Tamiya kits that you are hankering to get, either from your youth, if it's an older release, because a lot of the old stuff, Tamiya old stuff, is still around and beats the pants off modern stuff a lot of times. But maybe you can't find it, just drop them an email, ask them and say, hey, I want this particular Tamiya kit. Can you get it? They're the biggest UK stockist. They can probably get it for you. Just drop them an email.
Yeah. And not only do the plastic kits, they do the radio control kits as well, as this Tamiya 110 radio control Lancia car.
Tamiya are kind of well known for their remote control. Lancia, by the way, Ted.
Lancia.
Lancia, hey.
Lancia.
Yeah, they are well known for their remote control. They've been doing it for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So it comes with all the stuff. That's it.
It's big.
110 scale.
I'm the kind of idiot that will buy that just to make the nice car and not bother with the remote control bit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's good. Once again, see the prices here. What we looked at before was 10 quid.
Yeah.
16 quid. Another one here. If you're into cars, so 1/24 scale Nissan Skyline. I can make that a nice shiny car. Or I can make it a grunge car.
You really can't go wrong with Tamiya. I mean, Ted, Chris, and most of us people our age grew up making Tamiya kits. And it's a testament to their quality that a lot of the Tamiya catalogue is stuff that was still being made 40 years ago. It's still available today because it's that good. Like the little Willys Jeep, the SES Jeep that Ted made last month. That's a 1970s kit. Yeah. But it's really good, and it's good enough to be still in production today.
Yeah, it's good.
So if you're working on a budget, or you're just getting started, and your thing is say armor, or roadside, curbside cars, give Tamiya a go, because they're just one of the. They've lagged behind a bit in terms of some of the recent developments like photo etch and stuff like that. They're catching up now, but in terms of quality, they've always been one of the best armor makers.
And if you subscribe to the eModels newsletter that will get through once or twice a month, you'll have known that they've taken a huge delivery of Tamiya this week.
Yes,
there's all sorts of stuff in there.
It arrived in an enormous tube down a mountain road, according to the picture.
That's
quite. Apparently, I did that picture, by the way. It is actually a real photograph of a real truck delivering that big tube. However, it's like half a mile long. It's a real photograph. It's not made up. That's actually a photograph of a massive truck delivering something. I have no idea what it is, like a rocket or something.
Here's a fun little thing I've just found it just by browsing. It's radio controlled Tamiya. Dancing. Is it radio controlled or just motorized? the Tamiya 1/10 scale trike dancing rider. Yeah, it is radio control. Yeah, there's a little video of it there. I won't click the video because
it's very silly and kind of cute.
Yeah, looks a bit of fun. I've not seen this one before.
Michael Jackman says, Tamiya 1350 ships are the best. Yes, they do have their waterline series of, especially Japanese. They specialize in Japanese battleships and American battleships, and obviously German as well, and some allied. But yeah, they have a range of various scales, but their waterline series are very, very good for battleships.
Yeah, well,
the most legendary ship kit is the massive 350 scale, I think, USS Enterprise CVN 65 that has all the Grumman aircraft and stuff. That's a Tamiya kit. That's a legendary Tamiya kit.
So I'm just on the first page here. There's we're on 1 to 5 items of 1,098 in total Tamiya items. So yes. If you want to go and have a look, just go to the website, click on, just put Tamiya and find you all the models.
You could spend all day in there looking at stuff. If you've not come across Tamiya before, I don't know how you haven't, but their specialities are remote control, armor, so tanks and trucks and things like that, World War II armor, and some contemporary armor and stuff as well. Obviously, they used to do mostly World War II. They do a lot of modern contemporary stuff now as well.
And if you're new to modelling, if you don't know what to build, go to Tamiya. There'll be something in the range that will pique your interest, and you won't find any problems with it.
They are great for newbies in that some of the things like TACOM and Dragon and stuff that do, and Trumpeter that do their kits now can be quite complicated builds. In 1/35th, they have millions of small parts and photo etch. If you're just starting out and you're wanting maybe to get into armor or what have you, and you just want something nice and easy, go for a Tamiya, because like I say, some of those kits are like 30 years old, but they stand up to scrutiny. They're just maybe not as complex in terms of the build, so they're great for beginners because you can get a flavour of building tanks and trucks and things without having 3 million parts and tiny photo etch and building the shock absorbers from 400 parts like you do in a Trumpeter kit or something like that. So
Speedy Q8 says Tamiya's motorbike kits are exceptionally good for anyone starting bikes, and so, I mean the big bike that I did was a Tamiya kit, and that was
Does anybody else do like scale motorbikes apart from Tamiya?
I'm sure there must be.
I don't really know. There must be, but I've never heard of any. Not that I'm into motorbikes anyway, so I kind of run away from that page. But
right, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. That was just Tamiya. That's just a taste of what's in store with the Tamiya. As I say, rather than picking out individual items, I thought we'd just show you the page, see where to find it, and you can go have a look. The next one, another one that they've stocked up this week as well. They've had a restock of the Hobby Zone stuff, and also
everybody's buying them right now.
Also, what I did find is as well, it must be selling out quickly because there's some stuff that came through on the email that isn't here now. One of the things that I did see on the newsletter was a sprue holder. It looked a little bit like a torch rack. You know that problem where you have where all your sprues go in a box and they all get like a Chinese puzzle in the bottom and you try to find them out. It was a rack that held them all together, and it's gone. It's not there now, so they must have sold it out.
Now, the one thing we do say whenever we show Hobby Zone stuff is that if you see some of this and you want some, don't hang around. Keep this stream going, but in another tab, go into the store now and grab it in your basket and get it, because the number of times we've shown Hobby Zone stuff and we've had a text message from Pete while the show's on air saying, no, don't mention it. We've not got that much stock when we're sold out. Oh, he's happy that he's sold out, but he might have been. There was once when we first mentioned it, he just sold out of a lot of the stock and he had a week to wait for the next lot to turn up. And we said, hey, go and buy this Hobby Zone stuff. And he's like, oh, can you not mention this next week when we just got it all in stock? But no. Oh. So it does sell out. People go and grab this. So if you fancy some, get it in your basket now. What do you do, Ted?
Yeah, get it, slap it in your basket.
Slap it in your basket. Go and get it and grab it now, because I guarantee you some of these will have sold out by the end of the show.
I know it's a modular type system, but if you don't have room for the whole modular system, just get little bits of it, like this, the organizer.
The stuff behind me is all the Hobby Zone stuff, and it's all just the bits I needed.
Yeah, this is all your your go-to stuff.
Yeah,
You
make it yourself. It's dead easy. Bit of wood glue, bit of wood, slap. There you go, bang. It's actually good, quite good fun. And you do get a whole free load of magnets left over, which is great.
Yeah.
Let you know how the magnet work.
Yeah, this guy must have a horrendous model on the go because he's got some paracetamol on top of his
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, have a go at it. Have a look at it. Really, I've got a paintbrush organizer sort of in front of me, and yeah, brilliant. So just build it as you can afford it. Add to it.
I need more space on mine, but I don't know where I'd put it.
Yeah, I've got 5 or 6 bits
up out of the way, but
and if you go to the Hobby Zone, I think eModels have a link on. Excuse me, have a link on here somewhere where you can go to the takes you to the Hobby Zone.
Yes, if you go to, it's actually in the workstation organizers.
Yeah, it was right at the top when you go to the main page, I think.
Yeah, you go to the main page. Let me get the eModels page up. It is on the eModels website. If you go to accessories on the top menu and it's workshop organizers, that is they should just retitle that Hobby Zone workshop organizers. Not better. That's just Hobby Zone. So go for it.
Yeah, go and have a look at it. Yeah, good stuff.
Don't hang around. Slap it in your basket.
Slap it in your basket and be ready to check it out. Yeah.
I need to get some more Hobby Zone units actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself. Hopefully, when we move house and working on the new workshop, I'll probably design it around some Hobby Zone stuff.
The only downside is I can't say it's for a build, for an eModels build, so I have to pay for it. So I'll put an order in, Pete. I'll put an order in. Don't worry.
Yeah. Right. The next one. Next one. Another big delivery they've had. They've had some stuff delivered from AK. I've just typed on dioramas this time. I've just searched diorama. There's lots of new stuff coming in. One of the things I did see was quite amusing. Was a doozy traffic cone set, 1/24 scale. But cones come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, so yeah, you could use them for your other models as well. I just thought it was quite funny. But what some of the other stuff I saw was the diorama sort of gels and pastes and paints and things like that. This is nice stuff. I've just used some of the desert terrain. Which one? Yeah, desert sand on a diorama I've just done. Brilliant stuff. And there's also
AK and MIG are probably like the two companies that make the best diorama and weathering product type products out there.
Well, it seems that they're expanding the range because I certainly haven't seen swamp green before. Terrain.
Citadel paint range.
Can I have a tub of swamp green, please? Terrain asphalt, terrain concrete. So, So if you wanted to make your dioramas, put your vehicles or your aircraft or anything for that matter on a nice diorama, this is the stuff to start with.
And they do specialize in, like I say, weathering type products as well, like oils. So do check them out. There's a lot in there that you can have some fun with.
AK Interactive Puddles.
You're a puddle.
Puddles and muddy ground. Yeah, combine them, make a nice, well, not nice, make a really mucky, puddly type terrain. Combine them all. They're all mixable and sort of can combine everything. AK Interactive moss texture. I'd like to see what that is.
Moss.
Moss.
I would guess it looks like moss.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably just a box of moss. Snow. Snow. Water. Everything's ice box. I wonder if you've got ice to go in it. Snow sprinkles. Yeah. So if you're doing something from Battle of the Bulge, snow sprinkles.
Or maybe you're making some space wolves.
Yeah.
Space prepare.
This is a lot of 124 stuff. So some of the larger cars go for 124. But that's 185 items in the diorama range.
Yeah. And they do paint sets and everything else, so do check them out.
Talking of paint sets, we'll go and have a look at the new real colours that are really taking off. I was chatting to James the other day, who says these paints are flying out of the door.
Tim Bix has just popped in. He said, Inspector Morse. Oh no, he said Moss. Sorry.
Inspector Moss. Lewis. That's a good John Thor. cracking actor.
My mum and dad knew John Thor personally. He was good. He was a family friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, somebody else's name dropping tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, if other people can do it.
Yeah.
Surprised who my mum and dad knew when they were younger and used to work in TV and movies and TV and film and stuff.
Yeah, if you fancy trying out some of these AK real colours, yeah, great colours. I've been using them. I've used a set in a diorama that I've done. Cracking, go on brilliantly.
Phil Lewis says, what? Because I went, Lewis.
Yeah, they've got every colour. Apparently these have been researched. There's a book in here somewhere. Sorry if I'm just scrolling past very quickly, but these are just pots of paint. I'm trying to find the book that goes with it.
Yes, the real colours are designed to be as accurate as possible to the actual colours that they're based on, because they took paint samples from the actual vehicles.
Yeah.
Samples of original vintage period paint and tried to match them as much as possible. Yeah. So they claim to be the most accurate versions of those colours. So no doubt there's 35 different shades of Dunkelgelb.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter how accurate you make your paints, the people will always argue over Dunkelgelb.
Yeah, always. Is that the right shade? Yeah, was that colour in 1945? And
yes.
Yeah, but they also come in sets. So if you've got a particular subject you're doing, early German World War II, for instance, Africa Corps colours, German Army interior colours, World War II, Soviet AFV colours, all there. They come in sets as well, so it's probably a little bit cheaper. You usually get 4 pots in a packet. Some of them, like this one, NATO colours, there's a set of 3 in there, but it's priced accordingly. I'm just trying to find the book.
Philly says, I once purchased diorama sand and then wanted to kick my own backside when I realised it's just sand.
Yeah, I've fallen for that. Yeah, there it is. AK Interactive World War II Real Colours Limited Edition. I quite fancy this book.
It's painting porn, isn't it, Ted?
Yeah, it's porn for painters. Yeah, really, it looks a really interesting book. I had a bit of a glance at it when I was in eModels. One day, perhaps one day. Yeah, but it is a limited edition. So if you want it, slap it in your basket because it might not be out for long.
Yeah, and they might not get more stock. So
yeah. So yeah, lots of colours in that, and the thing about these real colours as well, they mix with any other type of acrylic lacquer.
Yes.
Paint. They also sort of be able to be thinned with any other brand of lacquer thinners, and they spray beautifully. They're
supposed to be very similar to Tamiya acrylics, which are actually lacquer, so like Tamiya lacquer acrylics.
Yeah.
You can use the proprietary thinners, or you can use Tamiya X20A. You can use any alcohol-based thinners, any lacquer-based thinners. You can even thin it with water if you're brush painting on, not like for a big bit, but say there's a video where they paint on a camouflage pattern, and he just adds some water to it in the palette and then applies it that way and builds it up in thin layers. So they're pretty versatile. I need to try some of those out, actually.
Yeah. After we've finished, if you go across if you search on Google, sorry, not Google, if you search on YouTube for AK Real Colours, they actually have a whole range of videos showing you how to use all this stuff and what they can and what they can do with it.
I thought you were about to say to me then, if you just go onto this site called eModels, buy some later on, you'll have some to try.
I might have done, yeah. So yeah, go and have a look at the YouTube site for AK Interactive and Real Colours, and it shows you how to use it.
Philly says it's good work stopping there, Ted. It reminded him we need to do an order for that washable agent.
Yeah, good.
Washable agent.
Right, I'll stop sharing. We'll come back because we've got other things to do now, haven't we? Where am I at? There I am. Am I in focus? I know I'm not.
Never.
There we are. There's never.
We always say, if there's anything that's tickled your fancy while we've been going through the what's in store, don't hang around. Go and get it, because man, we've not just shown single models tonight, so I doubt somebody's going to go and buy all the AK paints, but
they might all buy the one that you want. So
yeah, so just go and grab it. Stay here. Open a new tab with the shopping basket open. There you go.
Well, yeah, good. Yeah, look, the chair's gone down. Look.
You've stunk. That must mean it's time to do giveaways.
Giveaway time. Yeah, I think your head was just a giveaway height.
Time to give things away there. Right.
Giveaway height now.
Yeah, right. We could give a mug away. We
could do. However, there is a caveat.
Yeah, because there isn't any left.
They've got none left.
Yeah, but you can have this one if you just send £50 to Ted at eModels. Yeah.
Email £50 cash. You fold it up really small.
Well, the fiber optic tubes are hollow, aren't they? If you push anything down, if you think if it squirts some water down, it'll go out the other end. Right, yes. Although we can't, we will give a mug away. Just you might have to wait for it. That's all.
Mug futures. That's what we're doing in this week.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, there might be a shortage of AK paints because of the snow. They had a massive AK delivery the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and one thing with eModels, if it's not in stock, they won't be on the website.
Yeah.
So if it's in stock and it's available to buy, it'll be on the site so you can see it. None of this sort of taking your name and taking your payment and putting it on back order, then keeping your money for 3 months till something comes in. So that's the way to do it. Right, I'll have a delve into my phone and find out some really.
Did you tell them about the mug situation, Ted?
Did I? Yes, I did.
Yeah, you just did.
Did he?
Are you not watching?
No, I don't listen to
attention.
Is there any lack of
mug prize is mug futures?
Okay.
They're not current mugs. They're the potential mugs.
We'll send you a voucher, which is a posting saying we might send you a mug when we get there.
We owe you a mug. I'll accept PayPal. I'll accept anything. Yeah.
Send gin through PayPal.
But for only £40, you can have my weathered mug.
But for £35, you can have it with water.
For just $12.99. I'll put some coffee in it.
I'll send you a sachet.
Good evening from Ontario, Canada. Evening.
Good evening, Paul.
Hey.
Canadian. Have you got that? Have you got that music?
Hang on.
No, you don't need to pay it because you'll have Paul standing up all the time.
Yeah. No, I've got to do it now. You told me to do it. I just happen to have this on my phone.
Don't make Fox stand up. He's not got trousers on this week.
I know. I've got trousers on, just not those trousers. I love O Canada. It's just the best piece of music ever. I love it. I'll always take it. I'll always take a chance to play it for some reason.
See how we made Paul immediately feel at home. We welcome you all in.
Any other nationalities in? We'll get Fox to play the tune from there.
Well, the way I work is that most countries just get O Canada because.
Have you got the Jamaican national anthem or
Ethiopia? It goes O Canada.
It goes O Canada.
You can change the words. So Jamaica.
No, she stayed on her own accord.
Right.
We're giving away a mug.
Where we were now.
Well, what were we giving away? We're giving away a mug, weren't we?
Giving away a mug. We're looking at a question.
Giving away a potential mug.
Giving away a mug that maybe something like this. Yeah, the eModels.
Yeah, we don't know when we'll get them.
No, we'll just promise you a mug.
Yeah, but they will send you one when they get them.
Yeah. Where's my mug? It's in the post.
Which post? The post on the way to us.
Tim Bick says he loves it.
John Bias is in.
Guy, good evening, John. Yeah, everybody comes in.
Yeah, where's John from? What country is John from?
Remember, we'll be an hour earlier next week because the clocks change.
Do they? When do the clocks change?
Sunday.
Saturday night, Sunday morning.
What? Just gone?
No, in the future.
Next week, in the future.
We'll tell you. Don't worry.
Future.
So we'll be an hour early next week.
We'll be.
We'll be
yes,
at the same time.
Everything will be an hour early.
Yeah, we'll
just be less grumpy because we've had an extra hour in bed. I think.
No, you're losing an hour. Lose an hour this time around.
Oh,
yeah, that's on Sunday. That's yesterday. The week yesterday.
Who am I? Where am I? Break my brain. Ice is in the USA. Right, time to play it. Everybody gets it. Oh, Canada. Everybody gets Oh, Canada. Only because I haven't got the Russian national anthem. Sorry. You see what I did there? Sorry, John.
No, we go forwards. Spring forward, fall back. Spring forward. Right. Mug time. Now, we've had an excellent question sent in this week.
We've had a brilliant question sent in this week.
Which actually,
sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
Don't press the wrong button.
I'm trying to get it back to the beginning, but it just did the play thing instead. I don't even know which one I've got now.
Yeah, but just to make people feel at home.
Yeah. As long as the home is in Canada.
Right, I've lost a question now because I've scrolled down. Right. Oh, there's a question. Right, we had a question sent in last week from Joanna Hammond. Thank you, Joanna, for sending a question.
Who's making an awesome Stardust dryer right now?
Yeah, with lots.
If I remember right, isn't it like her first ever model?
Yeah.
And it's like it beats the pants off anything we've made.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna build this model and buy everything.
Hi, here's my first model.
Right, this one you might need to Google.
You will.
Yeah, you might need to Google.
Why not?
Yeah, or just guess, unless you're a physicist.
Chemist, Ted.
Chemist, is it?
No, physicists would work as well. Yeah.
Or an astronaut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you work in space.
So if you're an astronaut, you might know this question. Right. Well, she said it's model related, but the solvents used in chemical paste. I should get. Hang on.
Let me clarify before Ted does the question. This is for the mug. Remember, if you've already got a mug, you're more than welcome to have another one. So feel free to answer. If you've already got a mug and you don't want another one, just don't answer. Don't forget, we go off the first answer in the chat. We go the first answer in the chat, and we see the chat differently to the way you guys do. So we try and take account of live, but we'll go off the first answer. What is Ted doing? I don't know.
No.
Oh, he's getting his lab coat.
As it's a viewer question, we haven't done any research and due diligence on it at all.
Yes,
so we've just taken out that the answer is correct.
So, when you send us a question, you'll get a sticker. So we'll be sending Joanna a sticker. So Joanna, send us your email, your name and address.
Yeah, email.co.uk.
eModels. I'm losing the will to speak now. It'll be the first name we see that gets the right answer, if any of you get the right answer to this one.
Yeah, right. I've got my chemical physicist.
Yeah. Ted says Dr. Ted's back.
Yeah. Slap the gloves on. Right. She asked a model-related question. Here we go. Are you ready?
Deep breath, Ted.
Right. I'll try and read it properly so you understand the question. Right. How many carbon atoms do you have left if you subtract the number in acetone, the number of carbon atoms, if you subtract the number in acetone from butyl acetate? How many do you have left? Go.
I'm waiting for the answer. I'm sure it's going to pop up any second now.
Was. Ted.
Yeah,
forget what the answer is. You work it out, don't you? You work out how many were in that and how many were in that, and you take one off the other.
So if you know how many carbon atoms there are in butyl acetate, and you take away those,
we have answers coming in.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
None of them are right.
Teen 2000 says 3. Yes, because there's 6 atoms in butyl acetate, and you take the 3 away that are in
acetate.
Acetone, and you get left with 3. Yeah, so there we are. Teen 2000, Teen T2000. Well done.
John says a square acre. No.
Nobody said 42. I'm disappointed. So send Ted an email, ted@emodels.co.uk with your name and address.
Yeah.
When they've got them back in stock, they'll send you a mug. But when you send the mail, please put down that you've won a mug, because they won't remember. Yeah, the guys in the store won't know what you've won. So please say, I have won the mug. Please send it to me when you have them. Thanks very much. Okay, thanks. Bye. Here's £50 for Ted's mug.
Speedy Q8 says 42, but it's a bit late as well. And
it's after I said 42.
I want to know if Teen T2000 actually knew the answer. Was it a guess, or did you Google it? Or is
they're going to say they knew it, aren't they?
The only thing is, Ted, how would you Google it? Because you wouldn't know what the hell to type. I couldn't tell you how to pronounce.
You could ask how many carbon atoms are in butyl acetate, and then you could ask how many carbons are in acetone.
Yeah, by that point we're on next week's show.
Good
question.
Adrian
David says the answer is pizza.
Yeah, pizza. That's a winner.
Meatballs and cheese.
Cheese with meatballs.
Always the answer. That's one thing I'd love to try at some point. Talking to Canada, poutine. I've never tried it.
Poutine.
I think it's just cheesy chips, but I want to try it.
Cheesy chips. Oh yeah, cheesy chips.
Yeah.
Cheesy chips and gravy. Do you have that in the chip shop? Cheesy chips and gravy.
No. Well, the some do. Some do. I've never actually had it. I've had a cheesy curry.
Oh no.
It was basically a curry with lamb and cheese, and it was actually fantastic.
No. Yeah.
MJ says it is the simplest ketone possible with 3 carbons in a row with an oxygen double bonded to the central carbon atom.
My
head actually had the word ketone.
Yeah, of course, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Good, right. Yeah.
That says beans and chips and gravy is the Yorkshire version.
Yeah, now we're back,
See, me and Ted know all about chips and gravy. You Southerners don't do gravy in chip shops.
I don't know, not gravy.
Like curry sauce.
but
fine, as long as you have gravy as well as an option.
Yeah, but we have 2 types of curry now. We have hot or ordinary.
Well, if you go to a fish and chip shop, the only type of curry you have is Chinese chip shop curry. There's only one kind of curry allowed in chip shops, whether it's a Chinese chip shop or not. But we have gravy. Chips and gravy is a proper food. Yeah. Southerners like Chris don't even have that.
Teen T says it was a guess.
Yeah.
He has to go to bed. Who do I have to email?
Ted.
Email. Well, I'll put it in the chat, shall I?
Yeah, you put it.
I'm just doing it now.
Okay.
We're all doing it in the chat.
That's good because I wasn't doing it in the chat actually. I was doing it in my text document thing.
I was going to type it anyway just to make the noise. No, you spelt it wrong, Ted. Ted spelt it wrong. Hang on.
I missed it.
Just put another S.
It wrong.
Sorry, the S has got some paint on it.
No, I've spelt it wrong.
Like it hasn't got a Q in it.
.co.uk.
That's it. Yeah, send it.
Use that one.
Yeah. I missed the S. Yeah, it's got paint on it. I couldn't see it. It's next to the Q, so I can't. I don't use that side of the keyboard.
Is it camo paint then? Is that why you couldn't see it?
Right. We'll do another giveaway. Should we do some stickers?
Yeah, let's do some stickers.
Right. I tell you what.
Big Sooner says in the USA it's chili cheese fries with bacon and jalapenos. I'm really, really hungry now.
Right. I tell you what, I've got.
Oh, Joanna, don't forget to send Ted an email for your address as well.
Yeah, if you're watching, Joanna. Yeah. Got that one. That was last week's. Right. Give me a number between 1 and 4. 3. Thank you.
Is that the question, or is he asking us?
What number am I thinking of? Yeah.
What number am I thinking of? Yeah. So one of you two, give me a number between 1 and 4.
3.
3. Thank you.
It's the one after 2, Ted.
1, 2. I haven't got number 3. 1, 2, 4.
They're all giving you a number between 1 and 4 now.
Except for Tim Bix, who says 6.
Well, there's always one, isn't there?
Right, a bit of nostalgia from Adrian David Adrian. What year did pounds and sterling replace crowns and shillings? Go. What year was it?
Oh, I know that one.
When did we go decimal?
The year I was born, so I should know that.
Oh, showing your age now.
This is UK currency, by the way.
I remember shillings and farthings.
Very UK-centric question, but
threepenny bits. I was mortified when I dropped my threepenny bit down the.
You're a threepenny bit.
Threepenny bit. No.
No.
Yeah, we're only going by the answer that we get given. By the way, we might not be correct, but I go by the answer that's been provided by Adrian.
Yes, we do not fact check the questions you guys send us. We assume you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but.
So close. So yeah, you might have to Google this one. 1919, it could be 200 BC. No, nearly.
No.
There we go. Jamie Bourne. Well, yeah, well done, Jamie. 1971. Yeah, well done, Jamie. Send your name and address to ted@emodels.co.uk. Hey, but I think you know my eModels.
Don't type it again, Ted. You'll just get it wrong again.
I'll get it wrong again. I'll miss the T out.
Sometimes you press the wrong button, and sometimes you don't press all the right buttons.
I press all the right buttons, but not necessarily in the right order.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Preview.
Yeah. Right. Have we given everything away? No, we haven't. We've got another giveaway, haven't we? We've got the one that we give away after the show.
Well, we've got last week's to do as well.
We've got last week. Yeah, we have, haven't we?
We gave some chisel away last week.
Yeah, hang on then. Hang on. I'll go get the picture of what we gave away last week. Right. That's that one. Share it. This is what we're giving away last week. If you took part in our giveaway, it's the it was American week last week, wasn't it? So we give away Sherman. Granted, this is the on loan to the Red Army, the M4A2 76. Right, stop sharing because it's not locked on me. But there we go. Yeah, right. Giveaway, and before the start of the show this evening, Fox did his amazing picking from the random name picker thingy.
Yeah. Shall I read out some of the answers we had first?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, what the question was the question was last week.
Yes. If you remember, are you still locked on you? No.
No. Okay. Carry on.
If you remember last week, we asked you to write down what the big fat ass gun on an A10 Warthog sounds like when it fires. Remember, it's the gun that goes. How's it go, Ted? How's it go, Chris? Yeah, pretty much. It goes. And then people explode. That's how it works. So we had a variety of onomatopoeic answers. I shall. Smooth said potato, potato, potato. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Adam Clark says. Burp. Gareth Jones said. Burp. Burp. Most people said some variation of burp. Craig Radford said boot, which is quite good. Lynn Dipple had a bit of dewdrop going on hers because she went a little bit at the end. There's always a little bit at the end. It always gets me as well. Don Henkhouse said it's quite good. Quite funny to try and read these. Gaz Wilcox said daga, 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 daga.
Thank you, Jamie.
Let's have a look. Yeah, quite a few Berts. G Bert. Joanna Hammond, as with the week before. Just to be clear, you only need a TV license in the UK if you would like TV or iPlayer. Smiley face. Again, very wordy answer. You could have just gone. And da 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 from Adrian David, and lots of other variations of Bert and Bert and Bert and Bert. So I've got a thoroughly damp moustache now. So I'll pass over to Ted, who can do the actual winner.
Yeah, you might need a cloth to wipe the screen down.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, we did pick the winner from the random pick a thingy as you press the buttons and it picks a name for you.
Is that random name? Picker that picks names at random, Ted? Randomly.
Yeah, the random picker
randomly picks a number. Random name.
Yes. Oh, Osric 9000 just said, "Ooh, Dora's back in stock."
Oh, yeah. If you want Dora, go get it because there's not many.
That's going to mean happiness and also sadness for somebody in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, because there's not many Doras left around the world.
They're discontinued a few years ago. I'm quite surprised they got one. Anyway, let's do that in a minute.
Anyway, let's pick the name picked from all the comments tonight. Was not necessarily the comment that won, but thank you for
taking the comment that won.
It was randomly.
Yes, it was randomly picked.
Yeah. Right, the winner. The random name picker that picks the names randomly must have been lazy tonight because it picked out comment number 1, and it was David Fox. Well done, David. Which sounds actually quite near to.
Yeah. Sounds more like there may have been a curry involved in that one, but there you go. So David Fox dropped Ted an email, ted@emodels.co.uk.
And we'll get that tank off to you.
Name, address, phone number, just in case it's needs to be the curry needs to knock on your door and ask where you are.
Yep.
And do put down in the email what you actually won, which is, Ted, just remind us.
It was the Sherman tank. Yeah.
Yes.
If you put Sherman. Yeah. Because email comes to me and I look it up and send it.
Adrian Davies says, don't forget to wipe the spit off your computer. No, it didn't hit the screen, hit the camera. You guys,
we can see that.
Yeah, that's
You
why.
look all blurry now. You look
That's why Fox is looking at focus.
Yeah, the moustache catches most of it.
Right, but should we, we're running over time. It's past our bedtime now.
Right, let's get something away quickly then.
Right. Right, I'll have to come back to you because I'll share the screen again because this week we're giving away an amazing prize, and it's something from what's in store tonight because we're going to give away a set, one of these sets of AK Interactive True Colours, so you can have a go at them yourself. And if you're building a particular subject, we're going to let you choose which one.
Yep.
AK, it's the one on the eModels site with the little red number on it. This AK, such as the Disruptive Camo set for US Army, Russian Modern Army X. There's loads of them.
It looks like a 6-pack of Guinness from this distance from the monitor.
It does look like a 6-pack.
It's one that looks like a 6-pack of Guinness cans.
So you'll receive 4 of the paints in one of these little sets. So what you do, pick the one. If you've got a subject you're building or planning to build, you can pick one of these and let us know which one you want. And also, we will throw in a copy of the Tamiya 2018 catalogue. So you can, if you haven't decided on the model that you're going to paint, you can pick one. Decide. Yeah. Is that Sturm Tiger?
Which one? Where?
Bottom left, Sturm Tiger.
That could be a Sturmgeschütz or
Sturm Tiger with a stumpy.
I know the one top left's a motorbike.
It's the motorbike on there. There's an Abraham's tank. No,
Abraham's tank.
There's Abraham's tank. And lots there. I used to love having a look through the Tamiya catalogue.
Yeah. Oh, the Tamiya catalogue's brilliant because you look at all the models and you go, I wish I could paint like that.
Yeah, bit jealous, but something you can aspire to. Yeah. So so when you pick your paints, you can pick a subject out of this catalogue to go and paint. So that's the prize for
Nate Bliss says it's a Sturm Tiger.
Sturm Tiger, right?
Sturm Tiger Gefahrten.
Sturm Tiger, a boom boom, a boom boom. Right. So that's what you're going to do. Right at the end of the show. Right, stop sharing. Right. Just at the end of the show, when we've finished, this video will sort of render up and eventually come live on YouTube, where all you need to do is go across to the video and comment under the video. This week's comment should be another sound.
Yes, I've got a question already lined up.
Go on then. Go on.
So all we need to do is wait till we finish this stream, give it about 5 or 10 minutes. The video will then be up on the YouTube channel, the archived stream. Just by the way, in case anybody wonders, sometimes when it's archived, it takes a few hours for it to be the full stream. Sometimes it kind of starts halfway through. Don't worry, it does turn up after a while. It's YouTube, we can't fix it. All you need to do is give it 5 or 10 minutes. When this stream is finished, add what would the answer to this question as a comment on the video. And we're going to pull the winner next Monday. So you've got all week. If you're watching this on Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday or Sunday, you can still enter. This is open to everybody, which is why we don't do it in the live chat. What I want you to do, here's the question. It's another sound effect. Imagine in front of you is the most delicious kebab you've ever seen in your entire life. You look at this kebab and it is a divine picture of beauty. The smell, the sight, the sound. Ooh. It's there and it's waiting for you to eat it. And then you drop it on the floor. I want you to write down the noise it makes when it lands on the floor. The most divine kebab in the world, and you drop it on the floor, and you have an ultimate moment of sadness. I want you to write down the noise it makes, or the noise you make when you drop this divine kebab on the floor. One of the two.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear the kebab hitting the floor for all the swearing. No.
Then surely you can just pick it up and eat it anyway, because they're pretty.
There's a 5-second rule, isn't there?
Yeah,
we're assuming you've not had a beer, otherwise you would just pick it up and eat it. So the noise either the kebab makes when it goes on the floor, or the noise you make when you do that. Think of it like the adult version of dropping your ice cream. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, we can't have any expletives.
No, it's got to be the sound. We're not saying what you say, but the sound. It'll be like a heart-rending guttural sob, probably of some sort. or a deep sigh. But yes, no swearing, obviously, no rude words. But put that in the comments of this live stream when it gets archived, and we'll put them in it next Monday. Don't do it in the chat because it's not just chat; it's open for everybody.
They're already doing it in the chat. Tim Victor's got an important question: is it a hard floor or a carpet?
It's the deepest, most expensive shag carpet that your wife owns.
Yeah.
So you'll also get in trouble because you've ruined the carpet. It's also cream coloured, so yeah, it's a cream coloured, very expensive, deep pile shag carpet at your mother-in-law's house. So there you go. You've dropped the most divine kebab in the world on your mother-in-law's cream deep pile shag carpet
With chili sauce.
Yeah, with chili sauce and maybe fish sauce just to make it even more stinky. So the sound of the kebab or the sound of you. I don't know where that came from. It just everybody's talking about food and I'm really hungry and I want a kebab.
Did you just drop me a kebab?
Right. God, I'm hungry now.
I know. There's nowhere I can get food at this time of night. I'm like, I can't drive to McDonald's if I was desperate because my car's dead.
Did McDonald's not deliver?
No.
No, I thought they started delivering.
No.
Well, it's past our bedtime.
Yes.
Yeah, I think on that note, we should call it a night. And time to turn off the tubes and go and get a takeaway.
Or gin, as you like to call it.
Oh, gin. Yeah.
A bottle of takeaway, please.
Yeah. Right.
Mr. Hawksworth, yes. Bottle of takeaway.
Can I have some yeah, right. Adrian David says on a thick carpet there is no sound.
Oh, trust me, when you drop a kebab of that divine quality, your ears are attuned to every sound.
It's like there's a tree. When a tree falls in the woods, if you're not there, does it make a sound? It makes.
Yeah, all your senses would be super heightened. The moment it slips out of your hand, all your senses will be on high alert. You could hear a mouse parp in the corner. You could hear a gnat land. That's how, because you've dropped this divine kebab of the gods. There'll be a sound.
So on that note, as we picture as you're picturing in our minds that kebab leaving the hand and slowly falling to the floor. And you're giggling all the juggling, trying to stop it as it goes down and
It's
down.
going to take a week for it to fall in slow motion.
Yeah. We
won't accept Darth Vader screams. They're banned.
Right.
So on that bombshell, says Tim Biggs.
On that bombshell, folks, yes, it's time to go because the chair's all the way down now.
And I'm starving.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to eat.
Right. So thank you once again for joining us on this Monday night of mayhem, and we will see you next week at the same time, but an hour different because the clock's changed and all that. So depending on where you are, we'll see you next week, and we'll see you at 9 o'clock British summertime. So good night, everybody.
I've got to do BST now, not GMT.
Does that mean we've got no snow because it's summer? Yeah.
Yeah, it's no snow because it's summer.
So from now on, I'll either put GMT and get told off by Chris or put BST.
So your mission, Jim, should you wish to accept it, is to go and buy a kebab. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Adios.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You want kebab now?